What's
Hey, it
up?
is Sunday, 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So you know what time that is? Equilibrium time. Me and my three brothers, Mr. John, Mr. Terrence, Mr. Anzo. We are back again. Oh, let me pray.
But hold on a second. How you be baiting me out in the chat already, bro? We didn't even get started yet. Yeah?
How do you like that?
And look, two people already giving me F's. Well, you know
Yep,
what?
I'm a ban you to the fan zone. Avada Kedavra. I'm not even a Harry Potter fan. I don't even know why I have this fucking.
It's
thing.
okay. If you're giving an F to me, you got to give one to my boy Terrence too, because he didn't feel for it either.
This is also true.
For him, the F is probably I don't give a fuck.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't hate it. I just didn't care for it.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's so corny. It's like dude.
It's
It
corny-
might
it's
as well.
corny,
They
but-
might as well have shot that shit in Iowa.
I
That
am a
shit is
Micah
so corny.
Ironside fan, so anything he's on, I'm gonna like.
All right, fair enough. All right,
Really?
all right.
I love him ever since V.
Okay.
I got you. Yeah, boy.
So that's the only reason why you like the show?
Mainly because him. Because when he got killed, I was like, "Oh man, what the fuck? Why they kill him?"
I don't know, man. I think somehow
I like the cartoons much better.
I do like Roughnecks. That was fun. Yeah. I don't even know if it's good because, to be fair, I was like a fucking kid watching it right before I went to school every morning. But I enjoyed it, and it was like weird animation. And it was just weird.
In my mind, they were Marines. I don't know about nobody else.
Yeah, so, it kind of felt like Halo. Like for me, like when I watched the cartoon, it felt very Halo-esque because of their armor and stuff. Very more like Space Marine versus like their crappy helmets and stuff. But like I don't know. I find it endearing just because of like the like over the top like gore and the and I'm a guy who like I was just bitching about you guys, not about you guys, but bitching to you guys about my girl who loves sci-fi stuff like Sharktopus versus Megalodon and all that shit. It melts my brain, but watching her watch it is fun.
I'm gonna say this, and I know I'm gonna catch some heat.
Oh no!
But I love the Meg. One of my guilty pleasures.
Oh my god! Shout out to fucking Ruby Rose. I have a feeling we're gonna talk some Batwoman at some point.
Which movie?
The Meg.
The Meg. With Jason Statham and Ruby Rose. And fucking Rainn Wilson is in that film.
Man.
I like the Meg too. I like it too.
What messed me up, man, was I was like, when the even bigger Meg killed the Meg, I was like, oh, I didn't see that coming.
My god!
Sorry for those who didn't see it. I just spoiled it, but that shit, I was like,
that's fucking adorable.
The hell?
That's adorable as hell. No, fucking like Rainn Wilson's in that shit and stuff. Like that movie is insane, but I'll watch anything with Jason Statham in it. I was the guy who maintains like if we could go back in time, I'd have picked him for Wolverine if he could do an American accent because he's he's short and hairy and got
he can fight. He can fight too. So.
Hell yeah, he can. Transporter is a guilty pleasure. I love those films.
Yeah, the first Transporter.
The
first one was hell.
Yeah, I like
that one. I don't know if it's the first one or second, but he put like grease all on his body.
That was the first one.
And took a bicycle, and he put those bicycle cleats on. Oh my god,
that was the first one.
And also, let's talk Crank. Crank is some goofy ass shit, but it's fun.
Crank is goofy.
Crank is good too. But even in Transporter, this scene, the first one, where he's fighting in the house and they're in that narrow hallway and he's just ducking the axe and shit. I was like, yeah, that movie was fire.
Yeah, Jason he's straight now.
He's cool, man. He's one of my favorite parts of fucking Expendables too. I hate it, but that pre-scene when he like kills everybody is like knife to meet you or some shit like that. I can't even remember. Love me some puns. Gimme. Sorry, I already put us out on a tangent. But Starship Troopers is fun. Go watch it.
We'll pick this back up after we get done with the main course, which is Stargirl episode 8.
Shiv Part 2.
Yeah.
We're gonna shiv you with our shank.
Give it my usual grade of A, like I always do. Prior to my first evaluation of this show, I liked it made me do a lot of wondering. First thing, I'm like, how in the hell now that she knows, that she gonna tell her dad, she gonna tell the rest of the Injustice Society, and if so, then they're gonna figure out who they are. How in the hell they gonna combat the Injustice Society? Because um, I thought Isaac was gonna like freeze something and shoot to that guy. All this sucker did was breathe, man, and kill the guy. So I mean,
I'm
that
trying to
that,
figure out how he fucked up the handle when he was leaving. That seemed really strange to me. I was trying to figure out how he pulled that off.
I did what?
Like the guy was about to leave in the hotel room, the one that Icicle killed.
Oh, and the hat free the
Yeah, the
handle
handle froze when he grabbed it. That seemed really strange to me. I was like, how the hell did he do that?
I guess he can control like the temperature in this general area or something. But I thought he's gonna like shoot like a icicle
Like an
through him.
icicle.
Shit, that sucker just like
That
damn
was cool.
Superman and then froze his ass. Icicle.
It was
He ain't
haunting,
wanted,
dude.
he
It
ain't
was like
wanted to mess with.
it was like watching Frozen 2. I was kind of sad though. I was hoping they were gonna go a little hardcore instead of like the body thuds on the ground. I was expecting like a crack
Shatter?
and then a shatter. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been cool. I'm trying to think what else. That girl, she just hard headed. I know Courtney is the star of the show, but she's just her head is
She's
hard
annoying.
as
She's
hell.
annoying as fuck. I can't stand her. She
Yeah.
annoys the shit out of me.
Like they kind of getting away from Our Man and Wildcat. They're not really doing anything with her other than we should put a uniform on to save Dr. Midnight.
Yeah.
But I'm liking the show. I'm digging the show. I know we only got I think 5 more episodes, so I don't know how they're going. I'm thinking that they're going to release Grundy on them kids. That's what I'm thinking they're going to do.
Oh, it's going to be Grundy versus the robot, like easy.
And that might be the last episode of the season. What I'm thinking, but I'm ready for Tuesday night. That's when I can watch it here. So I get this episode. Like I said, I give it A minus, not an A or A plus. I'm just more intrigued with it. I want to see them finally put all the pieces together, and start looking good. 'Cause right now they're looking like a ragtag band of misfits. They're going to get their ass seriously kicked because once. But I'm thinking Isaac might show some compassion once he finds those kids.
Oh, I'm telling you right now, dude. It's going to be the thing with Barbara. It's going to be hit. They're going to have like a thing. Yeah. I guarantee you a kiss happens. 100%. Yeah. I called. I think I said it last week. I'm telling you, they're going to do it. There's going to be a kiss or something. And because she gets in the middle of it, I think he's gonna have a minute. And especially if Courtney and his son go to the dance and do all that stuff. Yeah. He's gonna think twice, and then Mr. Lizard Man, that might be the time you see him go, oh, you went soft.
You say you don't want me to take that hood off. I was wanting to take it off. I want to see what the hell.
That was a good moment. I can't wait till we talk about that scene. That was a cool moment. I enjoyed that. That was a cool moment.
But who wants to go next?
Oh, you guys go nuts. I want to hear all the praises. I want to know.
We're gonna go Terrence.
Terrence?
All right. So yeah, for me, I enjoyed the interaction between Cindy and Dragon King. So father and daughter. They're actually playing that up in the way that I wanted them to. So I'm very pleased about that. And the fact that she doesn't listen is why she feels so lonely. Because Dragon King is not like, I guess, like 99% of fathers in real life, the ones that would be considered good. Like, he wants her to do specific things because he loves her, but he would love her more if she would listen, and she has failed to see that because she's always so disobedient and she complicates his plans. And then someone that she has grown close to recently in regards to Courtney, she also doesn't listen, and she's very stubborn, and that's part of what she's supposed to be. But I do like that she takes time to think after she makes a mistake. You could tell that she's sorry and that she's trying to figure out what she should do. But anytime that she feels like she should listen to Pat, there's always something in the way to sort of get her to go against any sort of set of directions or wishes that he has for her. Like when she thought that all of her friends were in danger, and she was specifically told by Cindy, like, "Yeah, I'm gonna kill all your friends, and regardless of if it's Courtney or Clark or anybody else, they would all do the same thing and go after that person because you're not going to just let somebody kill all your friends. I don't care what anybody says about that." So that to me was completely appropriate for her to do that, and I was hoping that she would because you have those moments where some of the viewers are like, "Oh, she needs to listen." To me, that will count as one time where I hope that she doesn't listen, just in case on the off chance that something could happen. And then also for her particular position, reason as to why she is respected by the JSA is her ability to sort of disregard the things that most of her companions constantly think about. Like sometimes they make things too complicated, and then that also entails gets people killed and hurt. To where Courtney just sort of goes in there like, okay, well, y'all think I'm gonna go and do this. That also poses as flaws, but it's also an advantage in some cases as well. So, I like that they're slowly fleshing that out. That it's not just kind of a jump to in the likes of the way that humans believe that she should be. And then I know that Justin is in the background. To my understanding, he's supposed to be appearing very soon in some kind of a big way. So I'm being patient on that. I know that they'll handle that accordingly. And I did catch the part where he said, "Don't make me take off the hood." In the comics, there's nothing like that with him. But for me, I took that as an Easter egg for another character, which is a character named Johnny Sorrow, who's the leader of the Injustice Society in the comic books. Like, long story short, he was a silent film actor, and he wore this sort of teleportation device around his neck. He got into an incident with the JSA, and that device exploded around him, and it teleported him to a different dimension. And he got all these sorts of powers and stuff. And one of his abilities was if he removes his mask, the person starts to see all these horrific things, and then they either immediately die after that or they just kill themselves right on the spot, regardless of any sort of power or magic that the person possesses. It's usually strong enough to counteract that, unless there's somebody there to sort of stop you from killing yourself if it comes to that. But in the case that the person just dies, unless you got a lot of power, you can't really counteract something like that. So I thought that was a very big thing. I caught it. I didn't expect it, but I was like, oh, I wonder if they're ever going to show him. So that'd be cool. But the entire structure of the episode, I just like how it's really character based. The one thing that irritated me, not in a bad way, but just more of like with the character, like when Beth decided to go down
Oh my
into
god.
the tunnels, I was just like, okay, out of everyone in this group, you are by far the smartest one. Like
Mm-hmm.
no one on this group compares to you intellectually.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that can really keep up with her is an AI, which says a lot about her intellect. But in her moment of desperation and trying to find something to pin on the individuals that they're after, she made a very terrible move. You never go into an environment that you're unfamiliar with when you're alone. That's completely illogical.
Well, especially
So
when she was already going to go to the bedroom too. She got what she needed. I felt like narratively, she wouldn't put herself in a predicament. Being in that house alone was fucking dumb. Like going with Pat too. I
the
mean,
the
I'll get
I
on
mean
that.
I didn't have a problem with her going in the house. It was when she decided to go down there that I was like, okay, that's not smart. And whether it be a smart person or anyone else, I've noticed that whether it be fictional characters or humans in real life, they often do very stupid things, and then you kind of wonder, well, why did you do that? You should have been smarter than that. I find myself asking that very same question in regards to most of the humans I know. Why weren't they smarter than that? If they would have taken all of 5 seconds of thought, they would have known that was a very bad idea. So to me, I'm just like, okay, that once again as is the DNA of the entire show, is that these characters are not perfect. They tend to make mistakes. They don't listen. And this is good because I don't want them to be perfect and all that other stuff. That's not how the characters are in the comic books. It's always a progression. Any sort of moment in time where someone likes a hero or even a villain, there is a progression to get to that particular place where they say, I like this character a lot. And it's usually after they go through stuff. So, what I did appreciate, though, in that same irritation moment is that when she heard Solomon Grundy, she was like, nope, and she ran. I was like, good for you, because if she would have continued down that way, I probably would have stood up from my couch. Like that sounds very abnormal, and the fact that you're already terrified, like when it comes to humans, their natural response is to tend to be very cowardly. So because hers was so built up, I'm like, this has to make you run, and even if you were not afraid from a logical standpoint, when you're already in an environment that you don't know, and then on top of that you hear something that's unfamiliar, the logical thing to do is to retreat from the situation until you can better assess what you're dealing with. So I like all that, and then you get to um, Cindy and Courtney fighting. I thought that was cool, kind of like a part two of the battle. And Courtney got her ass whooped again, and then you have Henry coming in, and I like how Henry spent hours training with his powers. When he was doing his medication, he was training for a long time, trying to figure out like how the hell do I control this. So that's important too, to understand that Henry, while often being overlooked by many, I'm like, this dude has a knack for
You,
being able to figure out what's going on with
you
this
call that
person.
training though?
Yes,
That doesn't
like
feel like training. That just feels like he's just figuring it out by accident.
no, 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 no.
A
See,
little Ray style
no,
kind
no, no,
of
no,
with
no,
the
no, no.
force.
Like at first it was an accident when you're like, oh, what is that? But once you become aware of something and you take points to try to control it, like we saw that he was doing that with the pills. He did that when he was doing the whole testing, when he was trying to zero in on what people were saying so he could pass it. We saw that when he was in his father's office, and then they had this jump of time and he was still there using it. That is training. There are different types of training. Like even with me, I trained myself before I got training from actual masters. That's what intelligent people do. Like sometimes like it does take a certain person. Not everybody has the skill and the fortitude to be able to train yourself without someone there to guide you. But that also shows the discipline, the dedication, and the willpower of the individual to make the most of their situation. Because sometimes you don't have access to videos or people or whatever, or you can't afford it. So if you really want it, you have to force it into reality, which is what Henry was doing. So I noticed that right away, and he went from a character that I was kind of meh on. I'm like, he'll get better later too. Now you have my attention. And it's just from the stuff that I know about him, and then how I know um like how physical and mental training works. I'm like, there's a progression, and there are certain things, and it can be broken down into various complexities when you compare it to each individual person based on their circumstances. So that was just automatic for me to do that. But yeah, like I like that they're building up Henry, and there was a progression, and like I said, he was kind of in the background. He'll now be in the forefront, and I like all that. And I also like how fucking Cindy got snatched too. Like her father's getting tired of her shit. She don't listen. They snatched her ass up and they took her down there, and I'm pretty sure she's gonna get disciplined like she does in the comic books. And a lot of that is her fault because her time that she has spent with the humans has drastically altered her personality. She's not thinking clearly. She's so desperate for attention from her father, from her peers. She's doing a lot of basic human shit, and I like how they're playing that up. It's very cool to me.
I mean, I don't know. I feel I for some reason I have a problem with the word training because again, this is something that I feel the show has had a very huge problem with is the passage of time. It feels like he had the pill thing and within the same day, I mean, we're gonna talk hours. The guy's floating the key around doing 50 billion things. It just felt so easy. I was like, why don't you just do that with your hand? It felt really strange.
I guess I should clarify that even though I stated that there are different forms of training, the best type of training that you can have is for someone to teach you. Like even in my particular position, is as much as I was able to teach myself some really good moves, I still didn't understand what I was doing. And when I got trained, then I understood, okay, this is how you apply it to a fight. This is how you don't waste all your energy or use too much strength here. I had to learn those fundamentals. So what I'm saying is that Henry, like many of the other characters, they're on a basic level, but they're taking steps to improve. To where most people, what do? They don't take steps, right? They make excuses. I can't, I can't, I can't. They don't do anything. So these characters are constantly doing something all the time, regardless of how high or how low you think that it is. It's still something.
Interesting.
I absolutely love this episode. I thought it was great. Again, I'm with Danny. She's killing me, man. She doesn't listen to nothing. You know what I mean? No matter what, she gets wrecked and she's still, hey, we got to get out there. We still got to do this. And I'm like, come on now, you need to train. Why don't you talk about training first? You know, it's like, listen, Pat, you need to give us some training because we're getting our ass kicked. You know, like we already know that the Injustice League killed the original JSA, so they're not to be fucked with. But yet she still thinks, well, we can go and do this and we can go and do that. I'm like, listen, man, enough is enough. You need to start fucking training. You need to stop with all this bullshit. It's true, though. You know what I mean? You need to
Gotta bend over the knee. Just what you doing? What are you doing?
Absolutely. She needs to be put over a knee and like, yo, shut the fuck up. And you know what I mean? Like, oh my god, it's really annoying.
No, I feel you.
There's 13 episodes left. How much training are they gonna have within those 13 episodes that are gonna make me think it's enough to beat the Injustice League?
They're gonna kick some more buckets. They're gonna kick the shit out of buckets.
For the humans listening, I want them to understand that their training took years in the comic book, so do not expect that they are going to be extremely well trained by the end of it. They might be able to do something because they're not going to kill them off, but you need to be realistic and about what you're watching.
I don't know, man. I think they're going to rush it. I'm just everything about this feels rushed. It really does. I'm not saying it's necessarily bad. I'm just saying it's being rushed. That's it.
I mean, humans can feel how they want. I pretty much stated my position on it. I enjoyed it. I gave it another A, and I have yet to be upset. So I have no complaints. I have things that I want to see, but I have no complaints.
Oh, I have no complaints either. I'm just saying those are little nitpicks that are like kind of a little bit annoying, you know?
Yeah, like I would say, uh-oh, shit, someone's getting called. You in trouble now? No, like when I say it's rushed, I think that might be, well, first of all, obviously it's a bad thing in the first place, but second, it's more that like they do some stuff really, really, really well. And then you can kind of see the scenes that you can tell they were just trying to get it done. And I go, man, if the scenes that feel really weak and hollow could be as solid as the ones, like pretty much everything with the villains is so good. Anything with Icicle is like masterpiece shit right now. But like the stuff with Henry's pretty solid. The stuff they're starting to do with Cindy is really, really interesting. But like then you jump to the heroes and stuff, and it's just like, come on, give me scenes like that. I want scenes with depth and stuff, like Luke Wilson trying to talk to the staff. I was like, I like moments like that. Slow it down a little bit. Let me have these character moments, so when something happens to somebody, I actually give a shit about them.
I guess I should say something about that. Almost forgot. Yeah, that scene almost made me cry. By the way, when he was talking to the staff.
Okay.
Yeah. Like sometimes it's like the small moments that I pay attention to that other people just don't seem to care about. But I'm like it to me. If you say the right things to me, it does something. Most humans don't. They don't know what to say.
Mm-hmm.
So when he was talking to that staff, I was like, yeah, that I get that. I feel that.
I just like watching Luke Wilson act in the show. He does good shit. It's very grounded.
The staff scene was really good. And then what really hammered it home was when she came to grab the staff. Normally it'd be ready to go. It was kind of reluctant until she told them where she was going, and then it let her
Right.
take.
That is the only reason why it let her, because she said they're in danger. Because it wasn't going to go aside from that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it was an absolutely great episode. I can't wait to see what's going to happen with the rest of them. But like I said, they need some training, man. Beth, I understand she did some stealth work, and I kind of like that. But in a fight, she's going to be absolutely useless.
Yeah. The only thing I wish I'd done now, kind of in hindsight, I wish I'd wait for this to just go ahead and all 13 episodes so I could binge it at one time.
Yeah, but we wouldn't get to break it down like this, right?
The next wait
and,
from week to week, man. Sometimes that sucks.
Yeah.
And I mean, if I had a team, right, like, and I had someone, I guess, like on the team or even off the team, if they try to say that someone is useless, I'm like, no. There's never a useless person. We have to find out what this person can do. There has to be something. Like, what can they offer the team?
I don't think she's useless as being a part of as being a team member, but they're saying she's useless as in a fight and stuff because she just don't have the necessary skill set. If
That
if it were I hypothetically, I'd be like, look, we all got these powers. We got to learn what they can do. Kind of like how Dick Grayson did on Titans. We want to see what they could do, and he let
right.
whatever the boy that could change the name. I can't think of his name, and
I mean,
the other two. But they haven't even done that. And when they tried to do it, she made a mockery of it pretty much and pissed everybody off. So they got to get in that mindset. I think at least in the next 2 episodes, they can even time skip. Say it's a month later or something.
How dare you?
Know. I
Don't
don't.
you dare do that! I want to see them earn it. Damn it!
No, you're right. You never know how someone's gonna turn out. I mean, I never would have guessed how it turned out like this, because I thought it was impossible at one point. But depending on who you are and then who you have around you, they can really turn you into something. That's why I'm not worried about that.
Yeah. I think when they get their stuff together, they're gonna be very formidable. But right now, it's kind of like David and Goliath, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Who's gonna give them a rock, and who's gonna bless them and say, "Look, you can kill Goliath"? Because right now, if they were to face him right now, they'd be dead in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So I want to see, and I mean, they could have a half episode where they go to the Pack Garage, whatever, I don't know, whatever, and just showing each day for a month or something, and each day, whatever, and you can see him progressing. I don't care if they'll do that, but right now, it's not going to be believable. It's going to take something away from the show if they face him now, because there is no way, based on what we see now, they got a fighting chance against. To me, I thought 2 people would be harder to fight than 1, but Shiv gave her more trouble than the Sportsmaster and Tigress, whatever the hell her name is.
That's because Sportsmaster and Tigress were holding back because they were children.
Okay.
Oh man, I don't know about that.
I do know. I do know about that. There's a specific scene where he tells our man after he tosses him to a door through a door,
he says, "Stay down, kid."
And he could have just snapped this shit up right then and there.
I guess.
So there is no I guess. Like he could have killed him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like they seem like they didn't really care to kill anybody, and when they're superheroes, which it's the idea of like okay, so these guys have morality all of a sudden. On top of the idea
no.
They're going to have to go after them at some point. It just seems weird that they would care at that moment.
It's not consistent. It's not consistent with some of their characteristics because, okay, they killed three or four coaches because I guess they didn't like the way they coached their daughter.
Because they were annoyed.
But then in a fight where they could have killed somebody and you think that they would, they kind of held back. I mean,
in the costumes of the people they already murdered.
Every single one of those characters has a particular set of weaknesses, and I'm not talking about items. In the case of a lot of these characters, they have kids or a kid. So in that area, it causes them to hesitate. It's like the most basic thing. It's kind of like if I had a group of people and they sat me down and they were like, "So Terrence, what do you think we should attack first?" I'm like, "Well, it's obvious. These people have families, right? You go after their kids, you go after their loved ones. That's basic. So if they have those things, which most of the time they do, you can use that against them. And when they hesitate, then that could lead to their demise because it's a weakness. So usually the more infinitely dangerous characters are something to where aside from a particular item or something that makes them weak, if you can't do anything to them mentally, it's hard to defeat them. You have no leverage to use. Those are
I
not those are not those types of characters. You
I
have
don't know.
plenty of leverage on each one of them.
This team is willing to kill their own people who've been established for multiple decades. Like,
Again, those
and then they're
people
going
are
after
not their but those people are not their kids. They're not. And also
the people they were fighting.
Icicle,
Are not their kids.
Icicle, technically he did kill a kid, yes, but at the same time, if his son gets
Oh my
really
god!
involved with Courtney,
I didn't even
I'm
think about
telling
that.
you,
By the way, you brought that up for me.
yeah, yes, I brought it up because it's a good point. So, in
In fact,
regards to
if I'm not mistaken, he was going to try and kill the whole school bus, right? All the kids on the school bus. What?
well, that was more of a distraction. Now, in terms of the kid, he did that on purpose because it had multiple plans involved. That was to distort Stargirl, and then that was also to get back at his former partner, who's an idiot and chose to ignore him.
Oh, but man, come on. Kills a kid? I don't know. Because especially Icicle seems to be one of those like villains they're trying to like really establish that he has like a code kind of thing, especially with like his motivation. When he
He
killed
has
the guy talking about
he,
the dump site and all that. Like he has this weird like, I mean, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna
he has a code, but he has clear weaknesses. When Dragon King walked in that room, he was a bitch. He was fucking scared. He has weaknesses, just like everybody else, and you can exploit that. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like,
Well, I know, but you're
these
getting off the point of why didn't these two other characters kill these people that we know are willing to kill, and this team has already proven they will kill their own.
now, to be fair to these characters, if they are pushed and irritated enough, they can forego that, but they still have to get to that point, or they have to be ordered by whoever they work for to do it.
And and you could tell straight away that they care about kids. You know what I mean? They cared about their daughter, so they knew that they were kids. They're not going to kill the kids.
They care about their kid.
Yeah, but they're not going to kill kids.
They spared that entire team. Like, there were like at least 5 different points where I'm like, Tigers could have killed her, Sportsmaster could have killed him. Now they're together, they could have killed Courtney. Like, there were too many times from a combative standpoint. I'm like, these people could have been killed these people. They're not doing that.
That's why I think it's a problem. You're just highlighting exactly what I thought the problem was with that entire fight, because they set them up as merciless people. It just
It's only a problem if we look at it from the perspective of what we just mentioned. That's when it becomes a problem. But in terms of them getting what they needed in terms of the distraction and getting the information from the satellites, that was a successful mission. Those little kids are just an inconvenience, an annoyance to them.
that could potentially become a bigger problem, which is why
it will become a bigger problem.
Which is why they got rid of Wizard, because he was a potential problem.
Exactly, I understand that, but at the same time, though,
That's all.
This is true, but at the same time, these characters are not perfect, and they all have weaknesses. Like, to me, like Dragon King, I guess his biggest weakness would be his daughter, but at the same time, he does maintain a sense of composure, and he still stays on task because he understands that his daughter is going to do the same stuff that he's been trying to tell her not to do for like many years.
Yeah.
So he understands the pattern, and he works within the confines of that. But everyone else, they're like, "What do we do?" There seems to be a little bit of frustration and confusion. So I'm just like, well, I guess we're going to have to see what they do situation by situation, but there is a pattern. And if there's a pattern, then you could better figure out how to stop the pattern, which means to stop the person. So they need someone like Justin Arthur. I read online that he's going to come in a big way. So,
I'm sure.
Maybe it means that he's going to save them again, or it means that he's going to train them. It could be any number of scenarios, but his character is very important. It's just really a question of how they use him.
I suppose. So Do I get to do the portion where I'm gonna say I really liked the ending few scenes. I think the cliffhanger was really good. I think it was pretty solid mostly throughout this episode. Is this the point where I get to poo-poo on it and you guys tell me why I'm insane?
No, I'm not going to tell you you're insane for your opinion.
So they did a couple of things that I was worried about, good and bad. So first of all, I really don't like how they handled the little brother. He comes in and has this scene with her, which would have been a nice scene, maybe a couple episodes earlier. They left him at the football game. They make it sound like he was like, oh yeah, I was gonna let him just stay at the game and we left, and like the kid was in on it kind of thing. No, he straight like Pat went to go find her and just left him because of the cover-up thing, which I'll get to. So I thought that scene was a good scene for the most part, would have been a nice character thing, but the context is ridiculous because that kid got left at the game.
He did get left at the game, but I kind of took that as who's in more danger, Courtney or him? The fact
no,
that
I'm talking about the kid. The kid makes no sense, his reaction to that. If you just got left at a football game all of a sudden and had to just either catch a ride or walk home because they both just bailed on you, and you're like, what is he, like 13 maybe? That's really strange. And he was like really cool about it.
Maybe I don't know. Like my brother, when he was younger, I didn't like leave him at the zoo, but I thought he was next to me, and then I got to the next exhibit with the chimpanzees and all that, and I looked to my side and he was not there, and I remember like running trying to find him, and then he was still at the last place that I left him, but he was like, oh hey Terrence, like he was fine. I was the one that you had to go home out.
No, but you found him at the zoo. You didn't walk home from the zoo or get a ride from the zoo because they bailed on you. That's a little different.
But at the same time though, what I'm trying to tell you is that even if my brother had to walk home or whatever, he was still way too calm. I don't picture no matter what he was going to be scared. He just wasn't.
That was strange. And then I would talk with the Barbara thing, which her having dinner with Jordan and having that whole thing, and he had the little smile when he left. I'm totally telling you, a kiss is going to happen, and there's going to be a weird love triangle goofy thing.
That might happen, John.
I feel it coming.
It wouldn't surprise me, but I don't trust Icicle. Like this dude is a savage in the comics. He was a savage in Smallville when they had him there. Like, especially when he gets upset. Like, it's nothing like Icicle raging out. Like, so I don't trust him. I feel like any sort of romantic inklings that can occur can immediately be side road as soon as he gets pissed about something, which could also lead to him killing her, by the way.
That's easy. Like I'm telling you, like he's gonna have a relationship with her and then find out about Courtney, and then it's gonna be this weird thing for him, and then he's gonna make a decision, which will be really interesting to see. But since I brought up Barbara, I really am sick of the way that they treat this character. They treat her really stupid. Like she's not even a mom. Like, so Pat does the car accident thing for the cover up, which cool. Great idea. Good call. Whatever. He's stupid enough to say that Courtney was the one driving, which why would you do that? That just seemed really dumb.
I do like how he was going to tell her what happened, but then she said, tell me in the morning. And which
I do like, but we'll get there. I like his pseudo try to cover up, but let me finish because I think I'm curious what you guys think about this, because it was really strange that she goes out on this business meeting, probably first time she's left Courtney alone with somebody else for years. Single mom. Let's always remember she's a single mom with Courtney, and Pat was a single dad, and we're working on putting this family together. She gets a call for the first time. She's left her baby with the new guy, and he calls she was in a car accident. And when she shows up at the house, what do we hear? Hello? It's like, no, a mom's coming through that door. either going to yell at Pat about what the hell did you do, or she's going up there and she just kisses Courtney on the head. No. She's waking her up and going, "Oh my God, are you okay?" Like, she would be freaking out. And then when Pat's really willing to, well, second of all, his excuse is horseshit. It's like, you let her drive in the middle of the night. I'm like, why is she not furious at him right now?
I think, okay.
And then she's like, well, I'm just tired. And I go, nah, that's not how we're playing this. If anything, I would have said this was a really good narrative moment to start a divide between them. So if this Jordan thing does go on, I can almost buy that she's kind of warming up to him.
I would not buy a divide because they're, by the point we see them in the show, their relationship is good. She really trusts Pat. Like, to me,
and I don't know why. I don't know why. He's watched her daughter be bruised multiple times right in front of her.
I would have been just slightly irritated if that would have caused a divide. Now, where I picture the divide possibly coming in for a brief moment is when they tell her about the superhero thing and all that other stuff. Like, she might be like, "Oh, okay, shit. This is a collection of lies." And then now, like, she'll start to paint this picture. And then I picture that's sort of where the frustration will come in. Because, honestly, when it comes to humans, they only have a series of ways that they're going to react. And a lot of times it's typical and you can expect it. So in which case, when one of those things comes, you have to figure out how you're going to respond to it. And then humans need this thing that they call time. You know, time heals all wounds and all that other shit. So I just have to wait and see what her reaction is going to be.
I don't know, man. They make her look oblivious, and they're making her look really stupid.
The only thing I would agree with you, John, is that he should have said he was driving. I said that to him. Like, why did he say she was driving for?
It blew my mind. It honestly blew my mind.
Why did he do that? He might have. I don't know this, but he might have panicked mentally. I don't know. Like, who knows why Pat always says the things that he says, but he is a character of deep. He is a character of deep thought. I noticed that whenever he interacts with anyone, he thinks a lot before he does it.
Oh, but he's a sidekick of a superhero for like a couple of decades, man. That guy would know how to lie. Yeah, I mean,
but he's also Pat though, because Pat is like that in the comics. Like, but his quote unquote flaws is why the JSA respect him so much, because they don't do things in that way. Like, he often has to be the guy to talk to people, including the JSA, to get them to see things that they ignore. And it's like they learn from each other. They're like, damn, Pat actually has something. He doesn't have the rest of this, but he has some of the stuff that we're missing. And if you combine those things into one person, you would have what you call a complete person. But not too many individuals are like that. They're not really complete. They're missing something.
I'm just going to say, when it comes to, because you see this a lot right now in cinema, my biggest issue is an inconsistency or a blatantly dumb decision made by a character to advance the plot. I hate that. I like when people act within their character that's already been established, and they are smart. Like, you know, like the mom can figure stuff out. Maybe like have her notice stuff a little bit more often. Again, I can't get over the fact that she's a single mom and has been okay with how many times Courtney has been injured under Pat's watch. I cannot figure this out. And she's just constantly like, it's fine. I just don't get it.
According to my observations from what I've seen from Courtney's mom, she's not completely oblivious, because I pay attention to her. Whenever they tell her something, she's like, I guess.
She's just like, I'm tired. I'm going to go to bed. I don't want to hear it. It's wow, your daughter was just in the emergency room.
I could see that she's thinking about it, but she's not necessarily as, I guess, avid about it as someone may want. But you never know if they're using that to play it up later, because there's a reason for it.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
She has faith in John. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, she has trust and faith in him. That's basically what it is, you know?
Exactly.
So I can understand that.
And Pat enlist that in people.
We said John. You said John. I was like, oh, bro.
So Pat,
I was like, damn right you do.
and he's able to win people over. I mean, he even won over Rick, which, I mean, if you ask me, like, with a person with that much rage, I would say that it's close to impossible to do that unless you're dealing with the same type of person. So, because I'll tell you one thing, if you were to take him out and put me there, Pat would not. None of them would have been able to win me over that fast. It would have took like maybe a year or longer. So you have to be able to communicate with people, and you communicate with them. You plant the seeds in their mind. They probably won't listen, but then when they see something, you're like, oh shit, I guess I could sort of entertain this because he might be onto something. And I like that from Rick, that he was like, all right, Pat, I trust you. Show me something. I'm like, that's progress for him as a character, for Rick to trust someone like that, to trust a whole group of people for that matter.
So then I guess I'll go to the next piece from the I'm using things I was worried about that they were or were not going to do from the last episode. I really liked what they did with Cindy. Her showing up and having this really good scene with Courtney. It was really, really awesome. I enjoyed it a lot. I am going to bitch a lot about the fact that she didn't wince and stuff about her hands when she was texting and doing stuff with her hand. I think an actor could have paid a little more attention to that, but you know, she's young, whatever. But that scene between those two were awesome. And then when she walked out and goes, like, you really didn't think I'd notice you through that stupid mask. I was like, fuck yes, show. Thank you. Finally. Well done. I threw my hands up in the air and was like, show, I love you. Way to go. It was just a really cool scene with a nice little like twist reveal right before she walked out the door. It was dope.
Yeah, that was awesome. I like that because a lot of times in comic book shows and movies, they have a lot of people finding out the identity of these characters, and that's not how that works. And it's usually only other people of the same kind of caliber that pick up on it. Like, oh, that's so and so's son, or I thought I recognized you, like that kind of stuff. It's not so much the guy at Target, the guy at the pharmacy, the guy over here, the chick over there. It's like not that many people.
A lot of that fell back onto the fact that she got a hard ass head, and if she was training, then Pat possibly could show her pointers on what they could do to conceal their identities, or I mean, you don't know what he could do. He built a robot, so he might could have built some kind of voice altering device they could wear or something. I don't know, and I know that's probably not comic book accurate, but I'm just saying for the pretenses of this show, some of that could be contributed to the fact that she was hot headed, didn't listen. Maybe had she not listened and not confronted Shiv or do whatever, then maybe they would reveal her and know her identity is so quickly.
Right? Yeah. No. That's a good point. But I really want to see Justin not only train them but also explain stuff to him. You know, like I said before, you know, communication is important. You need the right person there. Like, there's nothing like a person being able to not only show you, but to tell you what you shouldn't be doing and how to do something properly. Like, I especially needed that sort of guidance to some degree, you know, like, because I did so much of my own stuff, but it was really particular people that were able to say the right things. And you need people like that. You can't get that from regular people. Like, you need people that are in the same kind of lane so they can guide you properly, because everyone else, they have good intentions, but they more or less will steer you somewhere you don't need to be going.
Well, a point I want to talk on what you said earlier, that and correct me if I misquote you, but you said that if you were in that group, Pat wouldn't have won you over so easily. Is that what you said?
No. If well, yeah, well, sort of, like, because if you put me in the position of Rick, right? You know, him being full of rage and stuff, and then you just put me there, but just with my own set of experiences, Pat would have.
I understand what you're saying, and I want to follow up with this statement. The only reason why Rick is changed because when they saw that damn robot, then that was like, okay, if I think you full of shit about something, but if you show me something that's super incredible, like, oh shit, okay,
boy's got skills,
then he might know what he's talking about. That's the only reason. Had that robot not existed, they'd still be fighting that battle of trust.
That's true. That's for the sake of the story, but the fact that these characters have had conversations, because like think of it as a foundation. It's like one thing leading to another to another. If you remove something from the equation, then you would have to find another way. But there is another way, and then I guess that would be a different conversation. So to me, from Rick sort of walking around essentially as considered the delinquent and a ghost and stuff, for all those sorts of things to sort of be happening back and back, it allowed him to sort of think about things more, because you have to.
That's
You know?
interesting. I actually want to go off of Danny. You actually just brought up something to my brain that I'm kind of annoyed that we haven't seen yet. Because you said he saw the robot, and obviously there's the mechanic thing. I'm really surprised they're not banking on the Pat Rick thing more often, because the kid obviously was pissed off because his parents are gone, right? Like he's not necessarily daddy issues, but probably parent issues, and had a shitty uncle. Now that he knows that Pat is not full of shit and actually knew his dad, it blows my mind that Rick is not constantly asking Pat questions about his dad.
Well, I mean, he technically was in every scene that he was in, but he was also coupling that with insults because he still was on the edge of believing. So
how so? Like, what did he say? Did I miss something?
No, like you remember the scene where he was just like, "How come you didn't do this? And how come you didn't do that?" And he was like, "Give me the journal; it belongs to me." Like he was unloading a bunch of criticizing questions to try to get to the bottom of him because he wanted to hear particular things.
But
I know that kind of approach because I used to because I used to do the same thing. I'm like, I know exactly the approach that he does. So even if you show him a robot or you show him a magical coin, it helps, but at the same time, it takes more than that, right? So there has to be other sort of trust in there, communication components. Because I don't care what some human shows me. That's not enough. You can show me all you want.
Let me give an example, and this is my cheesy example. How many of y'all watch Knight Rider?
Oh, Danny, you are going robot voice, sir.
Yeah.
You are teasing me right now.
This is the cheesy thing I use. Michael Knight first got his new face.
I cannot hear you.
You're chipping off, Danny.
Can you hear me now?
No, you sound like a robot, sir.
But while Danny fixes that, I'm gonna say, hold on, Terrence. You're telling me that if you had walked into that room and seen a robot, something that you've never seen before in your life, that wouldn't change your mind about him?
No. It's me seeing a robot does not change my mind. Like
I think him knowing his dad would be the bigger thing, man.
No. See, for me, communication. Like, because, look, friends, family, I have plenty of all that. But it takes a particular person to be able to communicate with me in the right way for me to trust you to roll with you in that fashion. So me seeing a robot is not enough. That may surprise me and impress me, but you need more than that. Now, what were you saying, Danny?
Yeah. What I was saying is that in that first episode, when they first gave him his face, gave him Kit, and he didn't know what was going on, and then Devin took him out and showed him what Kit could do.
Right.
And he was like, I still ain't feeling this. I'm gonna do my own, blah, the law, blah, 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 blah. He took out Kit for a second time, and the Kit first spoke to him and showed him what he could do, and realizing, okay, I can make a difference. That's the same thing, kind of sort of, is what that robot represented, in my opinion, to the guy that was so angry. He was like, you got my knob, you know this, you asking the right questions, but I still ain't trying to hear what you're going to say. Then when the ass is in the frying pan, because he think he know everything, Pat comes in the robot and say, okay, kids, you do everything. This is what it is. And he breaks it down and he's telling them, this is A, this is B, this is C. Even in the point where he was trying to show him how to fight. The guy showed interest in that because he wanted to learn. But Courtney messed it up like she always does with her impulsiveness. And that's just what's irritating to us. I know it's not irritating to you because you know the end result. We still traveling the journey. You already done traveling the journey. You know what's waiting at the end. We still traveling the journey. When I say we, I'm referring to John, and myself. So to us, this particular part of the journey is still irritating and crazy, and it drives me nuts on what she's doing. Also, another thing I want to say is they are always adding more stuff on these kids' plate to make it even harder. Okay, last week they discovered Shiv, and they know Shiv is one of their classmates. Now they found out who Dragon King is. That's gonna make it even harder.
I
There's a third thing they put on their plate. I can't remember who it is. They know the principal is the fiddler or whatever.
yeah.
So these kids are steady getting more and more stuff put on their plates, but nobody's teaching them how to wash the dishes. So
Mhm.
what's gonna happen?
Now, see, and I don't disagree with any of that. My only point was the foundation of leading up to a particular point. That's all I was putting emphasis on because there
Okay.
has to be a starting point, and then there has to be something to tip it over the edge. Whether that be the last thing that you see something, someone shows you something, or someone says something. There has to be a tipping point.
Yeah.
I just can't buy that, man. Like I understand that we're using maybe some personal experiences, but the show has told us he's essentially not necessarily obsessed, but really, really cares about the ideals of his parents. That's why he's building the car that his dad had. It's why he punched that tree all the time because he was
It's not
really mad.
it's not
And I
too
just
personal though because Rick is completely different from me.
but
The way
and that's
the
fine. That's
way
why I'm talking about Rick in the show. And it seems
yeah.
strange that he finally has met somebody who knows his father, like knows him personally. And the fact that he's not like asking him questions, not even just like once he wasn't going to get the journal, I could see him being pissed off about that. But I could see him constantly asking questions, or the fact that they're mechanics. It's actually kind of annoying that he hasn't just been given a job and we don't have scenes with him and Luke Wilson working on a car in the day to day, maybe talking about his dad,
It,
trying to help him with his anger and stuff like that. Because Pat's not dumb. He would notice that. But again, I think things are being rushed. We don't have time for these character moments that should be there.
there is time for Rick to do that. I just think that his character he needs more time to sort of open up from his rage. It's a process, like he's there. He's made a lot of progressive steps. I'm happy for him that he has a group of people that he can talk to and stuff, and they could sort of understand him. And then he has a sort of mentor figure of sorts in Pat, and then that will grow stronger over time. But it will take time. So once he gets even more comfortable with Pat, then I picture there will be a conversation like, yo, so what was my dad like? What can you tell me? That stuff will happen later.
Yeah, I think it will too.
I'll
All right,
tell
let's
you.
get to some. Go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry. No, I was just gonna say. I'll tell you one thing that's really annoying me about the show is the time period because we see them with a Nintendo Switch, and then they're talking about a paper route. I'm like, who the hell does paper routes anymore?
Paper routes are still a thing. They're still a
Huh?
thing. I promise
That's a
you.
good question.
Not here.
They're still a
Not
thing.
here either.
They are
Not
totally
here
still
where
a
I
thing.
Really?
I promise.
People are doing
and
paper routes.
mentioned,
They are a
Not
thing.
here.
not
They
here.
are a thing. It's a
We barely
dying
got
medium,
we
but it
barely,
is there.
we barely got machines for the newspapers anymore. They're
Same
running out.
here. Same here. The Gazette we have as our newspaper here, and man, we used to have paper boys come drop it at your more. We don't have that crap no more. None of it.
I do have some questions about that because I know that you're talking about in the comics from 1940, 50, 60, and so on, and I'm not sure necessarily in the context of the show, but it's just more of a question. I feel like I
Hmm.
tend to get irritated if it's something more extreme, like take for example the time travel in Endgame. I prefer when it's something like only in this sense in Agents of Shield when they actually explain the elements of time travel and how it works and it's explained in an intelligent fashion. Like that's usually when I get a little irritated if it doesn't make sense to me, not so much of I guess a preference for something that I wish them to address.
No, I get it, and it's not really a thing that's driving me crazy on the show or nothing.
It's
Like
a funny thing.
it's not taking it out, but it's like he says, it's just funny because when I seen, it, I was like, paper route.
No, it's totally a thing,
I was
dude.
like,
I can't.
who does
No,
paper route?
I swear. I because I drive. I'm like I'm usually driving into a small town like at like 3:30, 4 a.m. And I see kids running with the little fucking stupid satchel and just
Yeah, and I'm looking at Dandelion Fluffy saying people give out flyers. Yes, they give out
too.
flyers.
Yeah,
but
they do that.
but when they give out flyers here, it's a truck with two men that work inside of it, and they just drive and put the flower. I'm talking about an actual little kid, a paper boy, running around with a knapsack giving out paper.
Whole thing. Dead ass. I'm telling you, I see it. I see it almost every day. Dead ass.
I wanted to run this by you guys because I had talked to a human in regards to Solomon Grundy.
Mm-hmm.
He because he's being controlled. I was like, if there is a moment where he gets free of that, he's gonna want to kill those people.
The JFA,
the Injustice Society.
Oh, he's
gonna want to kill them because
really?
because he's being controlled, which means he didn't agree to do that. Like in the comics, he has agreed to let certain villains help him, and if they have mutually beneficial situations. But if you're talking about he was just strolling down the street and they was like, "Hey, Grundy," bopped him over the head, and then now they're controlling him, there's going to be a problem if he comes to that. So imagine if, I guess, in the end, where they're all fighting and Grundy is there, and they could somehow stop whatever's controlling him. That could sort of backfire on the Injustice Society.
So now that you said that, if that's how they win, I will hands down be for that. But if they actually, because like you said, it takes years for training. We only got 5 episodes left, so we know we're not doing a time jump of a couple years, right? So if they go and have these Stargirl and Wildcat and all them doing all their shit and they're just beating up on the Injustice League, I won't like that. But if now you're talking about they find a way to break that hold on Grundy and Grundy comes to their side and helps them, I'll be like, okay, yes, that will make more sense than just having them go out there and kicking ass.
Well, while it does take years for training, there is something where there's always these what they refer to as fantastical moments in regards to these characters, like even in the comic books, like Superman, he should have died. Green Lantern should have died. All of them should have died at any given point when they started with the lack of experience. But as a reader, you know that they're not. There's going to be either like a lucky punch or a blast, or the right person comes in. There's going to be something that allows them to continue their journey going forward. So I guess really it's just a question of how it plays out.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
So based on what you told us in the past, what would be an example of a fantastic or lucky punch, whatever, for someone to defeat Bruce Lee in a one-on-one combat?
In regards to Bruce Lee, I guess it would have to be that he made a mistake in something, and that particular martial artist was able to capitalize on that. It's happened. I guess a really good example would be like any number of MMA fights. Like you can have someone dominating, and then at the last second they could slip in and
no, I ain't talking about them. I'm talking about Mr. Lee, who you hold in high regards.
Well, I mean, yeah, but the same thing applies though. Like it would have to be that he made a mistake, and then the other person capitalized on that. In regards to Courtney, when she fought Brainwave, she didn't know what she was doing when she put the staff to his head to knock him out and put him in the hospital. That would count as a lucky move. She didn't know to do that.
I will give you that.
And the robot showing up. A lot of these people are being saved by Deus Ex Machina, which is a really bad writing trope. But I understand that it will happen from time to time, and sometimes it can be structured relatively fine to have somebody come in and save your ass. But it seems to be the go-to move, like they're getting written into a corner. And pretty much, I kind of want to jump to the next part of bullshit in the show, which luckily you brought up. I'm not going to start there. I'm going to work my way into it. Pat and Beth going into that house together is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Because they know who Pat is. The mom might not, but all it's going to take is somebody to be like, he even used his real name. Like fucking hell. Like Cindy's going to know who these people are. So when she talks to the mom, granted.
Maybe.
What do you mean maybe? They're going to make the argument.
I'll tell you what I mean by maybe. Because, look, in the comic books, Pat is not as well known as the JSA. He's not. So again, like if they recognize him, that's not a problem. Like especially with the Dragon King's research and stuff, it would make sense. But it would also make sense if they're unfamiliar with him. They're like, "Who the hell is this Pat guy?"
But Cindy knows who Beth is. That doesn't matter. She knows who Beth and Pat and Courtney and these people are already. And
again, I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm just saying like Pat is nowhere near on the same level as those other characters.
They know who Pat is. The ISA knows who Pat is.
Yes, but there's a difference between. Yeah,
because he was in the building with them when they killed the JSA. They know who Stripes he is.
There's a difference between knowing someone and having a lot of information on them. That's another thing. Like Pat is not to the same caliber, so that's why I'm saying if they don't know him or they don't know a lot about him, that would make sense. But again, on the opposite side of the equation, that also makes sense. So from my perspective, neither one of those would be wrong, no matter how they tackle that. It's just really how they do it.
I'm just saying, in that particular example that he John's bringing up, they should have their story straight because he's saying that he's that girl's stepfather. They're gonna figure something ain't right with that if they go and take it.
They know,
especially when Icicle finds out that that's that woman's husband. Then he could be like, well, why are you being here doing that kind of stuff? So that's gonna be the other stuff. I don't agree with so much, but what John is saying, their story should have been straight, and that may get them in further trouble when they start when the injustice society starts putting two and two together.
I agree because in their ability to find stuff out, it's going to happen. I guarantee it because they did that with the original JSA. They figured out in the context of that show, but even in the comics on a grander scale where you had more than 50 characters fighting, they figured out the schedules of those people. They figured out their weaknesses, their strength, and because they are like a family, they like to gather, they calculated all that for an attack. So if someone's trying to convince me that they can figure out what's going on with Pat or that they already know, that makes sense.
Guys, my brain is melting. Like it's melting. You are telling me, and I understand that the show is trying to let us be okay with it. Cindy knows who Stargirl is. All it takes is for her to say that, and it's over. Because now we've had Pat and Beth in that room now.
I know that. That's what I'm saying. Like I didn't say that again. I didn't say that you were wrong. I'm just saying if for whatever reason, if they don't have as much intel, that would also make sense.
Because Beth got away with it if Pat wasn't there. But now
I agree. I agree with you saying in the normal world, so to speak. John, I agree 1,000% what you're saying. Yeah. But I think that Shiv is not going to say, or Cindy, is not going to say anything despite her dad, because her dad going to kind of get this love-hate relationship thing going on, and she's pissed off the fact that she was trying to kill her, and then you came here and sent your goons to take me away, so now she's going to be like, fuck you mode.
No, but didn't Cindy already tell her dad that she knows who she is?
No. Danny, to your point though, Dragon King, like 9 times out of 10, would not kill his daughter, but depending on her level of betrayal, he might consider it, and that'd be.
No, I didn't say he would.
No,
I'm not. No, but I'm saying like when you brought up the whole points about her withholding information, Dragon King will look at that as a betrayal. I'm not saying it's going to lead to one thing necessarily, but I'd be very curious to see how they play that up with him when he finds out, because that's a big part of their plans to know who these people are.
Right. And
I don't think she's going to tell him.
No, she never told him. She fought Stargirl and told her father that she fought Stargirl. The father was like, "Yes, I know," but she never said she knows.
That's right. Why didn't she tell him then?
Yeah, she didn't say that. She just said, "Oh, she's probably dead," and then Dragon King was like, "No, she's not."
Right. Yeah. And the reason why she didn't tell is because she wants to prove something to him so that she can get a seat at the table. That's why. Exactly. She wants to kill Stargirl herself.
And now that I think that next episode he's gonna like punish her or do something, and then she's gonna be like, "Well, fuck you, Dad. I'm not telling you," but she ain't gonna say that out. But I think that's how she's not gonna tell him.
I don't think she.
And this might be something totally out of Power Rangers. I'm gonna throw this out here. You know how it always one of the damn Rangers is evil or something,
But
and then halfway through the damn show they turn good. So
Well,
I don't know.
that was actually more of a prominent thing, specifically with the Green Ranger when he was first
Yeah,
introduced.
no, it's with all of them. I don't have kids. There be one or two, John or Anzo. There'll be some new kids and they damn fucked up or mad about something, and then halfway through the show something happened, and Anzo realize, oh, I'm so and
I
so's
don't get
brother.
it.
But
I'm
it's not.
watching this scene right now.
But it's not like it's not specifically as common as you're suggesting. With all the episodes of the Power Rangers, like the number of episodes where one turns evil against the whole team is not really
Oh
common.
my god!
It's happened, but to me, the more significant one was with Tommy because he was
Bro,
introduced and
I
then he was saved.
I'll just use that as an example. I'm not saying
Right,
this is
right.
Guys,
norm.
my soul. I'm rewatching the scene with Cindy and her dad. He knows that she was in the fucking tunnels and he's pissed off that she left her alive. Like,
Right, but she doesn't.
He
doesn't tell
doesn't tell him this is Courtney.
that he knows
Yeah.
it's Courtney.
no, but
That's
I'm
all we
saying,
said.
but why wouldn't he get the information from her? He wants her dead.
But how
She
would he
knows
know
about the
that
plan.
she knows? But how would she know? Well, how would he know?
Because
that she
Cindy
knows
literally
what
just
it is?
said, "I know who Stargirl is," and he goes, "I don't care." Like
He said
literally,
that in the episode.
I'm looking at it right now.
I don't think.
No,
he
no, no,
says
no,
that.
no, 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 no,
He
no,
doesn't.
no, no.
She doesn't say that.
Let me
No,
double
no,
check.
no.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
check
go
again.
ahead.
He didn't say he didn't care. I
What
never
you
heard
call
Because
it?
he
All
says,
she did
"I
was
sent the drone to. I beat her. Okay, I know who she. I beat her. Okay." And it's like, "Oh, I didn't get the. I sent the drones. And her body wasn't there.
she
There it is.
doesn't tell him like, hey,
Well,
Dad,
maybe
I know
I just
who.
beat her. Oh my god.
She never tells him, bro.
Yeah, she doesn't say that to him. She says, I beat her. She's
Oh, I
probably
found
dead.
her.
Yeah, I beat her.
No,
She's
but he says, "I
probably
found
dead.
her."
I deserve a
But that
seat at the
doesn't say
table.
I know who she is.
Yeah, she didn't specifically say, Dad, Stargirl is Courtney. She go to my damn school. She didn't have that conversation.
Or that I know who Stargirl is. She doesn't
No.
say it like that. She doesn't say that.
Yeah, you're right. But
Yep, that hurt coming out, didn't it?
no, you're right. No. But I'm just like, I'm sitting here just like, if
Bro,
why?
that's comic book and TV stuff, man.
I just
You
feel
be
like she would be the priority. Like I don't know, man.
Okay. Hey, look, man. This stuff that they're
It's
doing,
killing my soul.
This stuff they're doing in Stargirl, it's comic book stuff. It's comic
Yes,
book
it
101.
Oh, don't devalue.
Period.
Don't
It
devalue
is,
now.
man.
No. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not
Right.
devaluing it. I'm just saying that they are respecting the formula by going that route. That's what they
Yeah.
do in the comic books.
Who the hell did? How could you not know that Clark Kent was not Superman? Only thing he did was take off his glasses and let his curl.
I make the argument that they killed that trope with her recognizing Courtney. I already said that was a good thing. I'm gonna throw that out there.
Now,
Also, Cindy looks
in
really
the
good in
case
this.
in the case of what you brought up, Danny, that's true. But see, their explanation for it was when they look at Clark, right? You know, me and you, we be like, no,
I
you be able
know,
to tell
I
like
know.
that, right? Yeah, but the humans see a clumsy
I
idiot.
know he was
Yeah.
geeky and corny, and
Yeah.
then he was confident. Yeah, I get that, but hell no.
So I'm
Right,
curious.
yeah, of course.
So I'm
yeah.
curious. What the hell? I would have liked to known where stupid dragon face man. Where the hell was he when Pat and Beth were fucking around in his house? If he's got cameras everywhere.
He sees it at the end.
Yeah, he sees
I
it
know.
at the end.
Like I was curious where the hell he was. Like when that
He's
might-
all
he-
somewhere because the last time she came down there looking for him, he was gone. So
he's
he could be
always
all-
doing something.
Yeah.
He's either doing something for the Injustice Society or he's doing
he
his
must-
own stuff.
He
well, he
must
was
have
there
found
when
out
Cindy
something
came to talk to her.
to
I'm just-
extend his life because he's like ancient.
Yeah,
According to
and
that
that's why I brought up to you, Danny, before about his past to being a World War II criminal and him being with Adolf Hitler and the Spear of Destiny. With that, Danny, there are all kinds of things that he could have done or put into place. You know, like it just
That's cool
whatever-
background shit too. By the way, I thought that was really neat.
yeah, like I was
let's
like
read it.
Dragon King is that.
Yeah, I like Dragon King. Let's read this one thing about that for a minute. They gotta give us more Wildcat. It's like the first four episodes she appeared, and we were interested in her. It seems like they just stepped her down into a smaller side character.
It's because they're rushing.
1,000% Ninja.
Rushing things. Too many characters.
Well, here's the thing. Like the make and DNA of the JSA, they have tons of characters. Like like they can't all have the same amount of time. That's why they specifically in the comics have comic books dedicated to each individual character, so that way you can learn about them.
I'm saying on this street, if they're gonna put it on CW, they should give it the same treatment as other CW properties. At least 20-something episodes. That's what I'm saying. Then that way they can tell the story right.
Give me more character stuff. I don't need as much CGI. Calm down.
Someone said that they didn't like the 13 episodes, and they said that the 13 episodes is perfect, and I'm like, no, I like the 22 episode seasons. Those are what I like.
It depends. For me, it depends on the character, because a lot of times with 22 episodes, you get a lot of filler stuff.
Yep.
In terms of the DC universe, the reason why theirs are 13 is so they can concentrate on a specific plot, and then by the end of it, it's done. And it's not drawn out. It's there, boom. It's like that for Titans, Doom Patrol, Swamp Thing, and Stargirl.
Me personally, I don't mind the filler episodes. I really don't, because in the filler episodes, you can get some good character development along with that. So I don't mind that. My point is, I'm used to, when I was growing up, everything was like 22 episodes. It wasn't these 13 episodes crap. So I want the longer episodes. I want the longer seasons. You know what I mean? The only issue that I have with the seasons that are coming on now is there's too many breaks in between the season, right? So Flash will come on, they'll do like 10 episodes, then they'll have a 2-month break, then they'll do 5 episodes, then they'll have another month break.
But that's because they have to film all that with the 22 episodes. That's why it's spaced out throughout most of the year. But in regards to that, most studios finally understand that you can't just make everything 22 episodes. A lot of times they lose money from a lot of the older shows that are just automatically a certain length. And on top of that, if there's an episode that progresses the story, or whether it be the whole thing or a character, that's not a filler. A filler is where it offers nothing in the nature of anything that's going on. That's a filler.
That was one of the major critiques for Mandalorian.
Well, and that was the thing. I would say with filler is an inherently bad thing. It's because it means that we're talking about an episode that doesn't really progress an overarching story.
Not necessarily because it can tell you something specific about that character.
But the thing is those you're talking about shows like maybe like the first season or 2 of Arrow, where you only had like 4 solid characters, or even in Mando, you only had 3 or 4 solid characters that you were working with. So a 13 episode, or like a Daredevil or Jessica Jones or something like that, you only have 4 main characters and a couple of villains, maybe at best.
Right.
And I'm talking that's all together. Like you have Jessica Jones, her sister, and then the villain. Right. And then maybe a couple of side characters you don't care. So a 13 could really work, or a Punisher. 13 can really work. We have 2 fucking full teams of characters with a ton of history and backstory, and you're telling me you're gonna fit all of that shit together in 13 episodes? You're so silly. I'm like,
well, no. See, I know
that would have worked for 22 episodes, because then everybody could have had their own full episode, probably a 2-part episode. You could have given every character a 2-part episode easy, and still had like 4 or 5 episodes.
I don't disagree with that. But I don't disagree with the 22 episodes, but at the same time, though, no, well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, for the sake of this show, it's not going to be done after 13 episodes. They're still going to continue it. It's not.
But they're going to finish off this story and move into the second part.
Maybe because in regards to Titans, they didn't do that. They continued over into the next season, and then they continue with what they were doing.
Yeah, but how do you mean though? They already had all their powers and stuff. We didn't get to see any of that shit established.
Yeah, but but like the JSA, they also have a big history. But it depends on the focus point. What are they focusing on?
They weren't the focus. The new team was. Sorry,
I'm just saying. There's a reason for that.
And I'm saying Titans only did one episode though. Like it wasn't like they did like 3 or 4 episodes into season. It was only that first episode, and that was where Titans' mistake was. They should have ended that. That first episode should have been the end of season 1, not the beginning of season 2.
That wasn't a mistake as much as it was the studio's interference because they didn't know how the show would work out, and they had no choice to do it like that. That wasn't the plan originally.
Even if it wasn't the plan, I'm saying for me, it should have, and that should have been the last episode of season 1.
Well, we're gonna get that with the Flash now too. Like the Flash we were supposed to get a new storyline next season,
right?
But because of what's going on, we're gonna be 3-4 episodes into the newer season, into that one.
Right. That's
different.
Right.
That's different. They had the storyline.
They had no choice but to do it because of the virus.
No, I understand, but all I'm saying is that there are filler episodes in Flash. There are filler episodes in Arrow and Black Lightning and all of them.
They don't have to be there though. And again,
and they don't.
But sometimes the filler episodes helps you gather more information about
the character. Right. Exactly.
If that's the case, then it's not a filler episode.
Exactly.
Filler is like
no. That's not true. You can have a filler episode that has nothing to do with the storyline. It can be another tangent or something.
No, but see,
I'm talking about to the full extent. Like, for example,
we're talking about filler episodes, and it's an inherently bad thing. When we say filler episode, we mean it doesn't really add anything.
Nothing.
It was an episode in between, whatever. Like I said, with this show, you have enough characters that it's not a filler episode. It's Wildcat's episode. It's Pat's episode. It's Barbara's episode. It's a person's episode that gives them character and adds to the storyline or to their background or whatever. It's not we beat this week's bad and nothing changed.
I agree, but it's like what I deal with my friends' parents. Like they would ask me, like in regards to Flash and Arrow, because they were the only two that they were watching, and they would come to me and they say, "Terrence, do we need to watch this?" Sometimes I would say no, and they would be completely fine because number one, I've already seen it, and I know that it adds nothing to the main narrative. I'm like, you don't need to watch this.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer is a perfect example. You could damn near skip season 1 and enjoy the show.
We've had episodes where Killer Frost end up leaving and they show her going to her mother and doing her powers and stuff like that. That was a filler episode, but we still got stuff.
But like I said,
hold on. But we still got information on Killer Frost. That episode had nothing to do with the season at all. So that's
what I'm saying though. Then that's not a but
it's not a filler episode.
I'm talking about a complete filler, as in if I tell someone you can skip it, you are missing nothing.
Right, but you could skip that episode and not miss nothing.
Yeah, but at the same time, if there's something in it, then it's not completely filler. I'm talking about complete. It doesn't matter about nothing.
A complete filler episode that one time where him and Supergirl went to some alternate universe. They were doing nothing.
And they were doing dancing.
The whole damn
right. Exactly. That's a filler episode.
But the thing you said about Caitlin,
in that episode,
we found out that her mom's a scientist. We found out about her dad, and that all came back because then the dad showed up, and there was all kind.
Did we not find out more stuff about Kara and Ben and Flash in that episode either?
No, but here's the thing, though. We didn't find out anything important. In fact, the rest of Supergirl season and the Flash gave us way more information on both of them and the entire multiverse than that episode. You don't need to watch that.
And usually after episodes like that, the next episode reconcurs what happened in there just in case you don't watch it because it's a bullshit episode. It was a fun musical episode, which people don't assume they're going to watch. There are sometimes like a musical episode could be important. Like, again, I'm going to bring up Buffy. One More Time with Feeling has one of the biggest plot points in that show. It's not filler, but the duets episode with Mr. Mixelplick, nothing changed. They went into whatever and then came back.
Right. To me, the episode with Mr. Mixelplick that was important was when he was completely warping reality to try to get her to fix many scenarios that she messed up, including with Lena Luthor. I'm like, now that's important because you need to understand that the character went through specific events in time, and she almost killed everybody multiple times throughout that episode because she was still feeling bad about pretty much things that have happened over the course of the whole show.
And again, and I feel like I'm being misconstrued. I like filler episodes do suck, or they could be good. We don't know. Like I like the duets episode; it was fun, but whatever. I'm saying there's a difference between when you don't like if you watch like a Castle or a Law and Order or a, just like a cop drama. If they're serial, sometimes it's like, oh, this episode didn't really have anything to do with the overarching background villain or whatever they had going on that season. I'm saying with this show, there are so many characters that you could give a lot of screen time to that they're not going to be filler. They're going to just be character developing episodes for that character. And they're not going to be pointless. But the only reason why they're pointless is if the writers decide it's going to be. And that's why it's lame. Like when you have 14 characters that all have special powers and parents like legacy characters, there's a lot of information there. Giving them a full episode is awesome, like we did with Rick. Him having stuff. Imagine if we have an episode like that for every single character, and then a couple of episodes with them all getting each other together. 13 is not enough.
I agree with Danny, Anzo, and you for different reasons, but
yeah, it's all little
for me, because I'm such a super fan. To me, I want to see every episode. If I find out that I accidentally missed one, it pisses me off legitimately.
I agree.
But for my friends' parents, they don't care about it as much as I do. They don't care. Like they're like, do I really need to watch this one? No. Oh, okay. We'll just wait to the next one. They can.
When's the big fight gonna happen?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, this next, Deshaun Wiggins wrote in, hey, which Green Lantern would y'all want to see? I want to see John Stewart or Kyle Rayner. For me, that's the Green Lantern I want to see.
John Stewart
or Hal Jordan. I really don't know much about Kyle Rayner. I know how he looks, but I've never read any of his comic books. I think now there's a female Lantern. I haven't read any of her comic books. But probably Green Lantern. I mean the Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan and John Stewart, my first two.
Yeah.
I mean, according to that that HBO series, it seems like they're going to cover all of them at some point, which is what I want. I want to see all of them. There is no like, oh well, what about if we do this one and leave out these other four? I'm like, no, do all of them. Like, I wish they would
follow the animation format. If we get to see all the different lanterns, that would be pretty cool.
I cannot believe that cartoon got fucking scrubbed. I can't. It was so good.
It was awesome.
It was so good. Was it Emerald Knights or some shit like that? I can't remember what it was called.
I remember they did I know they did an animated movie. I thought it was fine.
That was the animated movie, Emerald Knights. But the show was
because it was the one that showed like the pink ones and the blue ones. And
they had the AI. The AI
I thought that was fine.
That shit was so good. I loved it. I thought it was awesome.
I want to see it done more extensively in a live action format. That's what I'm waiting for.
Austinator, it's funny you bring that up. I bring this up a lot in a lot of TV shows.
I said, yeah.
No, Barry should have ended up with Patty Spivot. That's who he should have ended up with.
Who the hell is that?
It was the cop chick from the Zoom season.
Yeah.
She was awesome. She wanted to get on the task force with Detective West.
I think Barry and Caitlin should be together.
They were cute, but him and Patty Spivot were like way better. But it's really funny because I like the fact that you even thought about that because pretty much everybody says that Iris sucks. And it's funny because you see this happen in a lot of TV shows that run a little bit too long, is where they give a love interest to the main character in between the person that they want them to initially end up with, and they end up having better chemistry with the middle person. Like you saw it in How I Met Your Mother with the cupcake girl, or like, God,
you're like right. When she said "We are the Flash,"
that killed everybody's soul.
I'm like, kill her now.
It's like
you guys are right.
Eddie, like she gave up Eddie so fast, and he was awesome. And I'm just like, Barry's always going to be second place. And if you don't think so, Iris is a piece of shit.
Shit, my friends will tell you like I was in that moment. I was just like, no, ain't no we the Flash, bitch. Barry is the Flash. Like the fuck you talking about? But like, I agree that she had or that he had better chemistry with a couple of other chicks. But for the sake of him, like, man, he's supposed to be with Iris. So find a way to make that shit work and
And they
stop
fuck
making
it
her.
up constantly.
Yeah, yeah. It gets a little trying, but there are
There's something
moments within it that's good.
it's ebb and flow. Some episodes you like, okay, I can see it. Then some episodes, like you said, when we are Flash, I was like, really? Then I didn't like when she got the Flash powers because she seemed like really. You don't even seem like a speedster. You seem more like a downer.
That sock, dude.
Right.
So just
I,
one.
I,
note. It's
I
lame.
got you guys, and to me, it's like I believe in giving credit when it's due. What I don't like is for you to take something and from somebody else and say that it's yours. I'm like, no, it's not. This is my shit. You happen to be rolling with me, like that sort of thing.
Nah, I get Barry and Caitlin were cute, but nah. I don't see them being together, but man, either they need to make Iris more likable, but for me, it was Patty Spivot, 100%. I mean, remember he did the fucking date night with her and he was blind and she just didn't give a shit. She didn't care.
Right.
She liked him no matter what. And I was like, and she was trying to hunt metahumans too. If she would have found out he was the Flash, they would have been the coolest fucking cop hero team. And then she could have went out like Gwen Stacy. That would have been cool. That would have been.
The actress won me over because at first I didn't know she was supposed to be Iris because she's black. Like when I heard her name, I'm like,
Oh, I love Candace Patton, but
yeah,
man,
she won me over, but I didn't know that at first because I'm like, I looked at her and I was like, well, that's obviously not Iris. And then when they said, I was like, oh, that is Iris. Oh, okay.
man, she's just insufferable as a character now. Like,
I think I'm the only one that has no problem with Iris. I have no problem with her whatsoever.
I have no problem looking at her.
I don't have no problems with her whatsoever.
But she's like, for me, it's like I don't hate her character. Like a lot of my friends, they can't stand her. They can't stand Felicity, right? They want to kill both of them. But like
what? Felicity?
Yeah. I mean, for me, I prefer Felicity over Iris because of Felicity's personality and the stuff she can do.
Felicity brings something to the table. I don't know what Iris
she does. She does. Felicity is awesome. There were plenty of times where Green Arrow and Spartan, like later known as Spartan Diggle, that they would have died if she wouldn't have been able to get them out of certain buildings and stuff like that. That's facts. But Iris,
I'm gonna tell you, the best actor on Flash is Tom Cavanaugh. I
don't know, man. I like Detective Joe West. I
like Joe West.
What about Cisco, man? My boy Cisco is cool.
No,
I like
Tom Cavanaugh every season recreates the same actor. And
I kind of feel you.
Spin on him.
Well, and they make have to do like goofy ass characters too. But dude, do not sleep on Grant Gustin. That dude is
absolutely not. I think everybody on the show is good. Let's not get this twisted at all. I think everybody brings something to the show.
And they made a mistake getting rid of whatever his name is, Elastic Man. Oh
God, Ralph Dibny. Oh my God.
Oh, that was some bullshit.
I wanted to fuck, and I dead ass. Fuck all of you people on the internet. I don't care. I'm a stand for him. I wanted a Ralph Dibny Detective Joe West spinoff. I really wanted two detectives fucking around together. I thought that would have been dope. I wanted that show.
I wouldn't have given them a spinoff, but I would have given them a story arc together within the Flash.
Oh man, I don't know. That actor is solid. Like he is really likable. Holy shit.
And I know we're not going to go into this, but I really don't like what they did to that actor. It's the
cancel culture
it's ridiculous.
It's so shit.
And it's not even just the cancel culture too. It's the studios that don't have spines to just go, these are just 20 people that hide away in a corner, but they happen to be the loudest and they always crack under the slightest bit of pressure.
Especially when Disney was willing to bring back James Gunn. It feels like horseshit.
To be fair, to bring up Disney, they got some bitches over there too, but they eventually got past that. It shouldn't have happened at all, but they get a little tiny bit of props for being able to go, hey, we made a mistake. You're too talented. We should have looked into it like normal people. We're sorry. Come back.
Oh, dude, they're scared that Suicide Squad 2 is going to be fucking fire. They're terrified.
It is.
And I think so. I think James Gunn's going to fucking kill it with Suicide Squad 2. because Birds of Prey was a fucking gigantic piece of shit. I just
Like,
watched that.
Some of that things that actor said though, I don't know, man. Some of the things that actor said though.
Look at some of the stuff James Gunn said, dude.
What did he say? What did he say, Anzo?
He said some fucked up stuff.
Talking about raping some women and shit, something like that. I can't know. Like
it was in like weird.
It's the same thing with Gunn. Gunn had some stuff with kids, but what the problem with these studios is that they don't understand the context. Yeah, a lot of.
I think Gunn had took some kind of questionable pictures or something.
And it was at a party. It was at a party, and these fuckers at Disney didn't take 2 seconds to understand it. So I'm like, these people are joking. I've heard plenty of comedians say questionable things, and they're being funny. It's all about the context. And also, what have these people done? They haven't done anything. It's just you got these sensitive humans. Oh no, a couple of people are going to be upset.
I will always say that people are fucking hypocrites because Bob Saget's one of the filthiest fucking people I've ever seen when it comes to content. And that motherfucker not only was considered the most wholesome dad on TV, he also was in your living room with America's Funniest Home Videos. And trust me, dude, if you watched his fucking stand-up, he's not.
You can't compare stand-up to the real life of someone doing a tweet. You can't compare stand-up to a tweet, bro.
True, but other humans, they do have that. That's true. You can't compare them, but at the same time, it's like, there are people that joke about things. There's the whole a joke. It's like the Joker said. It's only funny because people say it is, and then when it's not, it's not. Then they have all these opinions, and he was right because that's how it works. If they like you, you sweep it on the rug. If they don't, they want to put a big light on it. You're the worst person in the world. I'm like, that's not how that works.
Some people just do stuff for appeal and stuff. I give a prime example. I love the Rat Pack. And Dean Martin, it looked like he was alcoholic. All he had in his glass was tea.
Right.
But if you look at it, you think, sure, he drinking and fucked up stuff. He just is as sober as you and I right here. So I mean, some people do stuff try to appear a certain way or be cool or whatever look they're going for, but in real life they're nothing like that.
I like how the steps too that fell into place. The entire cast of Guardians, they was like, so you're not bringing back James Gunn, and then Batista out of all of them, he has the biggest spine out of all the MCU actors. This dude was like, I'm not doing anything else until you bring back James Gunn. Like, he was on all these interviews. He had the biggest balls, period. And then when they went to Taika Waititi, they was like, hey, everybody acting up.
Let you lose.
Right. Taika Waititi, this is where he was beast. He was like, that's James Gunn stuff. I'm not doing it. And Disney was like, fuck. And then it got them to realize how stupid they were, and then they brought him back after everybody told them what they should have did the first time, which is just talk to him. Don't listen to the emotional humans on the internet. Just talk to the man himself. I'm pretty sure you can work this dumb shit out. It's very simple. Stop making it complicated.
So Anzo, I'm curious. So this is one of those things because this is not me trying to like gaslight you or anything. Because I'm actually really curious because we already had the talk when it comes to music lyrics, right? So now, since we're talking about quote unquote comedians or funny actors who want to maybe do like a shock jock type thing to get a little bit of exposure or whatever, because it's kind of their ideal. You look at people like Louis C.K., which obviously didn't do well, or like a Bill Burr. People love fucking Bill Burr right now. And so like he does his stand-up, right? People laugh. They have a good time. If I quote him in my tweet, does that make it worse than what he said on stage? Because I don't understand the difference.
But he wasn't quoting anybody. He wasn't quoting someone's skit. Someone is a comedian doing a skit, bro. I'm doing a skit. I'm doing a stand-up comedy. It's doing it for shock value. You're doing it to make people laugh. You're not sitting there at home tweeting, I'm going to rate this chick.
But how do you know he was? But he didn't literally just type that.
I know that. He didn't literally just type that.
And shocking.
But that's not funny.
Anzo is right. Anzo is right. It is different. The only thing, Anzo is right. That is different. But all I'm saying is, like, humans, they look for things to ruin people, especially in this day and age. Instead of them looking for ways to help each other, they go into people's past. They take the stuff out of context. And then humans like to spout religion and second chances, but as soon as they find one thing, they try to ruin your whole life. There are no second chances. It's very unlikely.
I
And
don't know,
if
man.
you do, you got to go through hell to get that, and that's if you get it.
I just think, John, to answer that question, you got to be familiar with the context. Because I'll I'll quote something from the Kings of Comedy, like Cedric Entertainer said
I
that
love
white
that.
people and black people are on two different kind of creeds.
Hmm?
Black people are on the wish creed. I wish somebody would be in my seat, and white
Hmm.
people are on I hope someone's not in my seat. But if you send that text, retweet it, and somebody's familiar with that particular context or that show, then I don't
You're like,
think
"Ooh,
it's
that
offensive.
was funny."
Then if
So
you do,
so
then if you do send it and it is offensive, you say no, 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 no. Go to this right here and look, and this what it is. And most of the time, if someone has common sense and a sense of humor, they'll be like, "Okay, I see what you're
right.
saying. That is
And,
funny."
Or
and
like
hold on,
Blazing
hold
Saddles.
on.
Imagine if I get a quote from
Here's
Blazing Saddles.
here's one of his tweets. Super Bowl America, 80% of the prison population is African American. Right? Then he says, just kidding. I don't care. And the F word, not fuck, but homosexuals, are fine. But sports often make me snore. So right now, right there, he's using the
Okay, well here's what I'll tell
derogatory
you.
F word, right?
That's not cool though. You
But
you right,
people don't
but
make
look, man, I got some friends.
that.
They say they've said worse stuff than that, but because I know
Right.
them, they're joking. They don't mean no harm. And then maybe somebody go, hey man, what you mean by that? And then they explain it. But see, that's the thing. They don't let you explain. They don't care about the context. They just look at it and go, well, this looks, but just because it looks doesn't mean that it is.
And I will tell you something. That F word, I'm not gonna say it on here, right? Because I know right away we'll
Good
get
cigarette.
something for it,
Yeah.
right?
No loose
So the
cigarette.
F word,
Okay.
all
Yeah.
right. That word, okay, no word of a lie. I can go on Facebook and I can write the N word as much times as I want to on my Facebook's page. Nobody says nothing. I wrote that word one time and I wasn't even talking about any homosexuals or anything like that. I was calling a dude that like tried to rob me. I'm like, so this F word tried to rob me. My post was taken down within minutes of putting that word. But I can write the N word a million times. I can go and write the N word right now, and it will never get taken down.
And I think my
Right,
argument for that would be people don't care about context and standards. And I think that's a
No,
problem.
But
because
that's not even about
because you got
context or
I know
standards.
what you're saying,
I think
Arzo,
it is. I
but it's
absolutely
kind
think
of
it
two
is.
different things because we in this culture we're in now, we got that word, we got a cool version of that word, and
Yep.
we got an
Yep.
offensive version of that word.
You know, the
There is,
hard R.
there is, there is no cool or offensive.
Version of that
There is
word.
no cool version of that word. It's all offensive. So that's why I think,
But
and
not in every.
I'm not
But
defending it by all because
but there's no
you,
cool. There's no cool.
you and I talk off campus how we feel about that. So I'm not
Mhm.
going to bring. I'm
No,
not
no,
going
I
to bring
know,
it up
but
here on
yeah,
camera.
yeah.
But
But
Now,
what
that's
Anzo, you were making some good points. I feel
there's
you.
no
You
cool.
didn't.
There's no cool way that word is done. Whether we say it
Right.
to ourselves, we think it's cool, but it's not because
The
the
UK
older
uses
generation.
it.
Hold on. Because the older generation, if they hear that, my father would be telling, no, don't you ever say that word. And I'm black. Don't you ever say that word around me. Older generations, no matter how you place that word, it's offensive to them,
you
right?
talking about
So
the F word or the N
I'm
word.
talking about the N word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
N-word.
Anzo is
So
right. And
you say the
right.
N word to an 80-year-old black man or black woman, whether you're saying it, hey, what's up, he'll be like, what you call me? Because it's different.
Anzo is right. But see, here's the thing though. Like, I got members of my family that are that age and older. Some of them don't care. They say it. They're
Yes,
fine. And then
yes,
some of them
absolutely.
don't. So with black people, as you know, Anzo being a black man, and same thing with you, Danny. It black people, there are so many different types of black people regardless of their age. So that's why they tell you what may be okay with some black people is not okay with other black people. So you kind of have to see how it works with the
But
communication. And when you hear that
mhm,
they don't like it, out of respect, you go, oh my bad, I didn't mean it like that. I won't say that again. My
right.
bad.
But homosexuals, they call themselves the F word. They say it to themselves all the time. So
you
it's
you
the
know
same
what?
thing it's the
But
same
it
thing
also
as the N word.
I can't speak on that, so I
Hey,
don't
hey,
but it
know.
hey,
also
hey, hang on. Hang
I
on.
can
The
because my
thing.
ex girlfriend, I can because my ex girlfriend was had a best friend who was a lesbian, and she said all the time.
Okay, let's transition off this topic. I don't feel comfortable talking about this.
What transition, Danny? Yeah. You are so offensive.
Okay. Before you transition, I'll just say it depends on the person. That's all.
All right. Thank
Danny,
you.
I can't wait to see how beautiful you look after your transition.
Yeah, okay. Tell me how this look right here.
My point about it is not the situation, it's about the topic. Is he said some offensive stuff, so I can understand why they took him off. That's what I'm saying.
While I understand, I don't agree with it. I think that this cancel sensitivity stuff is ridiculous, and they're just going after people.
He's not Kevin Spacey.
They need to stop this. They also need to stop censoring and changing the names of everything. Oh no! Like, calm down.
That I agree with. They have to stop doing that. They have to stop wanting to take down movies because they say they're offensive or stuff like that. I agree with that 100%.
I don't know about these humans.
Let me say this, and I'm going to end it with this. If you are a owner, or you own a particular piece of property, or you the head person at a particular business, and you set certain standards, and those people are made aware of those standards by signing a contract or whatever the case may be, and you violate that, it may not be constitutionally right, or you may think it may violate your rights or whatever. But if you sign that contract and it got anything in that clause, I don't know if you read the fine print or not, but no matter how long it happened ago, and social media gets a lot of people because they say stuff in the heat of the moment instead of sitting down and think about it, and that might be what really got them. So I don't know. I really don't care.
That's
interesting
because Disney knew about James Gunn. They said as much, so that's what made it even worse.
Well, I'm talking about CW. I don't know about the James Gunn thing. I'm just saying that people from now on should learn from these actors' mistakes and read the fine print and make sure you govern yourself when you're on social media, because this is something that at time, as you said, it can be clipped and used and whatever. So you just got to be careful what you do. Careful what you do. Careful what you say.
And you're absolutely right, Danny, because most of these contracts do have a clause in them where you have to be, okay, you have to do this. You have to be an upstanding citizen.
It's called moral turpitude.
It's called no. It's what they don't. What it's really called that they don't want to say is called being politically correct. Slash being a coward. But what I will say, I'll say this in the most respectful way. Because I want people to take this in and understand.
Coward, I'm going to be as respectful as possible.
I'm going to be respectful about this. I will say whatever the fuck I want. Go ahead, Danny.
Don't be a bundle of sticks. No, but I want to finish out. I'm just like, I don't understand. Like, we have this.
We ain't talking. You're gonna be 2 hours on this damn show.
Just give me it's
talking about Stargirl.
It's just really interesting and funny that like you have like these Disney characters, like people who dress up as fucking Little Mermaid and shit. It's like they go through more extensive background checks than like political figures. And I'm like, you're telling me a fucking like multi-billion-dollar studio can't fucking do a social media check on these characters? If you're really going to decide that this is what you want to do, because this is a bad precedent to start. I'm just gonna say it right now, regardless of whether or not you agree with it or not. It's a slippery slope, and we're seeing it constantly. That argument is a real thing now, and I just feel like, okay, then do your due diligence before you hire these people, because you're gonna fucking look like
they already know. They always know. They just try to cover their asses.
Yep.
That's the truth.
They're like, can we make our money back before we have to fire them?
Exactly.
Yep, that's what it feels like.
Hollywood
is in all cases. You don't know.
Not in all.
Oh, you mean you want context, Danny? You want context? Damn it!
Well, I already gave the context with the James Gunn situation. That's like the most.
No, I'm just being an asshole.
Yo, well, I'll tell you. Okay. Deshaun Wiggins said, I want to see a Wally West TV show as the Flash and recast Wally West at the CW. Wally West is the best Flash. Can I join with y'all? I want to talk about comic book and movies. Mr. Wiggins, before I let anybody on, I have to see what you can do. So,
you know who that is, right, Danny?
No.
Huh? The guy who's been begging to get in Rob's stream
on Rob's? Yeah, I remember Sean.
Yeah, that's
I like Wally West a lot, actually.
I'd like to
slightly
see him on
more
Titans
than Bear. Yeah, that's probably going to happen. They were talking about bringing a speedster on Titan, so
I could work with that.
We might see that soon.
I don't like the Wally West on CW. He
was all
whiny.
right.
He's whiny and complaining. Now he come back all that Zen like stuff.
Yeah.
That's Wally for you. My boy can go from silly to serious. Like I like how they're handling him, and I want to see more, which is why
I like
they brought him in on Legends of Tomorrow. I
like the actor. I don't like his uniform. He need to put a top on that.
DC ruined him. That's why I don't.
Wait. You said a cap? No, his hair is supposed to be.
I know, but I don't like.
I like it.
Yeah, I didn't like
it. They also have the one where it's covered too, but they recently they've been having the one where his hair is out like that.
That definitely would let me know who he is.
I don't want to see him on Titans because DC Legends of Tomorrow ruined him. I hated him when they put him on that show. He did absolutely nothing on that show. I just didn't like it. So I don't want them to put him on Titans and then ruin him. I don't want that.
I love when they had him on there. It was fun because to me, like that show was just fun. I'm like, that's the area where you have fun, full blown fun. So that's why I was fun.
Yeah, but every time they got into a situation, he always ended up getting hurt or something because he would have handled the situation all by himself.
That's the point, though. That's called nerfing.
To be fair, Wally West in the cartoons and the comics, he makes a lot of mistakes, tripping and falling. Like he does all kinds of stuff.
I get that, but he didn't do. It was absolutely. If they wouldn't have put him in DC in the Legends of Tomorrow, it wouldn't have changed nothing.
No, it wouldn't have. But for some people, it was nice just seeing him.
He just wanted the actor in there. Like he just wanted to see the actor. That was all. He had some free time because he went off and did some bullshit show that did not fucking pan out, and he was kind of like, I was happy that I went and did it, but man,
exactly, Mike. What Mike said.
Yeah. So
he was absolutely useless in that.
It was a shame. It was a shame. I like the actor.
As long as you can entertain me, I'll be happy. Just entertain me, if nothing else.
He was too much of a whiny bitch when they first brought him in. Like he was just trying to be pissed off at Barry for like no reason half the time.
Yeah. Jealous. Now, until he got his damn powers. Then
it was awful. Like once
Barry was whiny sometimes too, man. I wanted to
Barry's whiny a lot, dude. They nerfed him like Barry too, which I hate. Like that's my biggest problem. It's because the cast is too big. I really like him and West. I just want him and Detective West constantly.
It took me a long.
Joe centers him. Wait, what was that on?
I was gonna say it took me a long time to like Barry. The first season, I hated him. I hated the. Yeah, I hated
him. He's so endearing.
I never hated him.
My biggest problem is that they've been doing this shit with him.
I think it's only the third season where I started to be like, okay. Is good.
I just knew it was going to be either Harrison Wells or Joe to kind of center him. Like I kind of said earlier, you need the right people to talk to you. Like when you got this confused, whiny, frustrated, angry, whatever, you need that person to center your ass. And Harrison Wells centered the fuck out of Barry, and then Joe added to that.
I'm sorry, dude. Joe West, Detective Joe West is fucking awesome.
Joe is he's a staple
of that show.
Absolutely. I 100% agree, Danny.
One of the best characters in the CW.
Some of the best scenes in Flash is when him and Barry are just talking.
You know exactly. I mean? Even this past season.
Remember the fucking season? It was it first season? It was the fucking first season when Paul Blackthorne oh my god, Arrow. Katie Cassidy's the Black Canary's dad. I can't think of it. Lance.
He
came over. Him, Joe West, and Cisco were figuring out about Harrison Wells' backstory when they were on the bridge. One of my favorite fucking episodes ever of all time, and had one of the most haunting I've ever seen.
Her dad got on my damn nerves. Oh, he was so stupid.
Oh, you talking about Lance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Danny,
He's
Danny,
awesome.
you know what's funny? Like now that I know you, because I didn't know you back then, Danny. But for some reason, Danny, every time from when I met you on, and I see like cop characters, in the back of my mind, I'd be like, I wonder how Danny feels about this dude or this chick. You know, like because you're a cop and
I
shit.
can't stand when they portray cops being so damn dumb. That shit
Yeah,
pisses
I do have a problem with that. But I never felt that Detective Lance was that dumb. He found stuff out.
He knew.
He found a lot of shit
that
out.
the Arrow was trying to do the right thing. He knew
But
that.
he had to
But
have
he's
the
a
problem
cop
of, like,
though. Like,
I have to. Do I play by the rules or do I?
Okay, what did James
Mhm.
Gordon do? James Gordon know Batman was not playing by the damn rules, and what
But
did he
he-
do? He
but
embraced that shit.
Jim. But to be fair though, Jim Gordon did have to warm up to him because at first he was like, I should probably arrest this motherfucker.
And then
right
not
here.
only
Like,
that, he had to convince his precinct. It wasn't just about whether or not he cared. He had to
Exactly.
convince the
And
people.
then he figured out that Batman had his daughter out there. He
And then-
figured that shit out too.
And then he came
True,
around.
which came later, which also
Lance
came
also
later with Detective Lance. That it came later. You know, like I feel like they all have their different personalities, but like Lance,
You get
Joe,
on my-
Jim, they're all smart.
I like Joe, but Lance irritated me.
Can't.
D. Scott say, what seasons of the Flash is your guy's favorite? For me, in my opinion, is season 3.
Season 1.
Right now, the
Flash?
two favorite villains are Zoom and Reverse Flash. They're my two favorites.
Probably season 1. Honestly,
Easy.
it's between
Pinnacle.
season 1 and 2 to me.
Pinnacle.
Definitely not season 1 for me, so I'd have to go with season 2 or season 3.
I'm gonna
The reason
go.
I like Zoom because that was Candyman's voice, the actor that played
Which was-
Candyman.
And I thought
Oh,
the
you talking about Tony Todd?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
and,
him.
and I thought the actual actor did a really good job too.
Oh yeah.
I think season 1 was like pinnacle TV because it really, for once, gave me. I wish they would have done more with the CSI. It's always my biggest thing. Like with like
I
Batman,
hated
they
I
forget.
hated the daughter though.
Who?
You know what? If you're gonna talk,
I do not like excess.
if you're gonna talk
Yeah,
about
yeah.
voices, you gotta mention Tobin Bell as Savitar, the one that played Jigsaw in the Saw movies.
Savitar was season 3?
That was all right, but
But I
Season
like
4.
his voice.
Season
Savitar
4?
was
Savitar was season 3 because it was
Season
like
3, right.
That was
Zoom,
some
and then you had Zoom, and then you had Savitar, and then Thinker
It was
was
reverse Flash.
I like the devotion.
Reverse Flash, and then it was
first,
Zoom, and then Savitar, and the Thinker was season 4.
and then Thinker was 4.
Yeah.
Which
Okay.
that was good. Cicada was fucking garbage.
I like the first part with Cicada when it got to the daughter,
The girl,
whatever, I was
I didn't like the daughter.
the biggest problem with the show was once you had the Flash Time episode, you had to nerf him in every single episode after that because he was essentially a god. Like, I'm sorry, that as cool as the Flash Time episode was, it was a fucking great episode. At that point, he was OP. He was like,
he's not quite a god yet. I give him like maybe.
But
2
that
more
episode
seasons.
made him like fuck it. It was like he could literally stop the world.
You know
Well,
what?
but that's the thing with the speedsters, though.
Yeah. But season 1,
Okay.
I think, is pinnacle TV, or superhero TV. Second season, I think they get a lot of bullshit for doing the same thing, but I felt like they added with the whole extra Earths thing and gave people a chance to act. So at least it was the same thing, but there was a lot of acting and extra writing and fun stuff thrown in there.
Wait. What was that, Danny?
I would say my favorite two scenes. One of my favorite two scenes was when the old Flash is explaining to him when he goes back and change stuff, like that coffee cup.
Yeah,
and you can never put it back together. And then my second one was when he was explaining that to his daughter, because you remember the episode where she tried to go back in time like 50 times.
Yeah.
He was like, "What have you done?"
Right.
So I like the way they explain how the time travel works when they
that Nora
go in
shit
there.
just missed me. That like holds the stuff
No,
with the
hell no.
was really
I
cool.
love me some Nora. No,
The Nora missed me. I like the actress. No, don't get me wrong. I like the actress and the character. I just
Let me ask you,
a lot of
let
stuff.
me ask you
going on
this.
in the story. Yeah,
did Reverse Flash really care for her, or did he just do that to fuck with the Flash?
I think a little bit of both.
It was a tiny bit of caring, and then the rest. So I would say it was probably like 20% care, 80% manipulation.
I
That's what
I think it's both. Just like season 1, like one of my favorite scenes ever is no, that's not what you really want to know. Ask it. And he's like,
actually, no.
kill
See,
my
but the
mother,
Barry
and
thing
he's
is
like,
even
because
worse.
I hate you. But then he talks about how he fell in love with, like, he's like, I loved you like a son, like the way I look at you, like Joe does.
That dude is full of shit.
But I love shit like that.
First of all, no. First of all, it's worse with Barry. The only reason that he built him up is because he wanted a challenge.
Right.
He was manipulating so he can kill him.
Right.
Kill all his friends.
I don't know, man.
No, there is no I don't know. That's the nature of the character.
He felt bad about killing Cisco too, and I think he actually legitimately did. That's why I totally bought the first season. Like everything he would, because if he didn't actually care about it, he would have murdered it once he got.
But that's not how comic books work.
But I think he did that to fuck with Cisco, because every time Cisco sees him, he is terrified and he can't get past him.
Exactly. It was all part of his plan. Reverse Flash is one of the best comic book villains, period, because of his ability to draw you in like, yeah, we brothers. And then
I don't know. I just can't give up season 1. Season 1 was so perfect. And then I think the Flash Arrow crossover, he'll never be able to touch that again.
You know what really is confusing me? All his villains are better than him at first. I mean, superior.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you got to build up. You got to earn the hero status for the season.
I mean, it's like that with a lot of heroes, though. Really, it's the formula.
It works for the most part.
Yeah, because you can't have them. You can't have a person show up and then they're not a threat. They have to pose some kind of threat, whether it's mentally or physically or both.
It's why I like the DeVoe season. It was finally him.
I'm not talking about. Well, I should have said the speedsters, because now I'm trying to figure out now how in the hell is this Godspeed supposed to be that much faster than Flash, and Flash done learned from Reverse Flash. Now he's constantly trying to build on making. He's trying to make the artificial speed force.
Danny, no. I'm telling you, when the real Godspeed comes, these are like decoys. When the real one shows up, he is gonna get fucking wrecked, something awful, and I can't wait to see it. Like, God, okay, you were talking about Reverse Flash, Zoom, and Savitar. Like, to me, Godspeed is he's definitely like more powerful than Reverse Flash. But in terms of his cunningness, just wait, because burying them, they're gonna be like, oh, Godspeed, we already dealt with him, and then it's gonna be like, you think you dealt with it, but you haven't.
Oh, and I gotta shout out to Austinator. I 100% agree. But I'm gonna double up. He said Captain Cold. Captain Cold is easily one of the coolest villains ever, and I love the actor and the way he did it.
Yeah,
but I like them together.
I hated him.
Yo, no. If you give me Captain Cold, I want Heat Wave with them. When they are together, just like in the comics, I'm like, ooh, that is.
They were dope.
And their chemistry was perfect because they worked together on Prison Break. So when they announced that, I was just like, oh my God, that's like, what the fuck?
He's one dimensional. Oh my God. And then
one dimensional doesn't mean bad.
Nah, not necessarily.
I don't even know that he's I don't even think he's one dimensional.
No, because he works with
Barry actor from fucking Starship Troopers, my dude. It was his daddy.
Captain Cold has worked with Barry for particular situations, though. That's not one dimensional. Like, it's a shame what happened to Wentworth, because he was supposed to be in more episodes, but there was that short period where he had a mental breakdown because he, came out as being gay and stuff. And my heart was broken by that. I was like, oh man, I didn't know you were going through that.
Didn't they do that on the show also?
In terms of him being gay, that was a different one from Earth X.
Yeah. He was with the Ray.
Yeah, he was with Ray.
Not Ray Palmer, but the Ray.
Right. The Ray is like criminally underrated in terms of his power. So I'm glad they used it.
D. Scott said, "What's your favorite crossover in the Arrowverse?" I think it's the Alien Invasion for me.
That one was fun, and getting rid of losing not the original Firestorm, but I love Freema as Jax. I thought he was fucking amazing.
I love Firestorm.
I loved those two.
I love the way they had to take out Vandal Savage. That was pretty sick. Like how they had to take him out in different timelines. Because when they introduced him, I was like, that's a Justice League villain. As in, Batman had to work hard to figure out how to stop him. So I was like, what are they gonna do? So and then when they said, okay, well, what if we get him at multiple timelines? I'm like, there it is. It had to be something crazy like that. Yeah, absolutely.
I have to go with the Flash Arrow one. I know I sound like an old man, but there's just so much good character stuff. Like we had all these characters that we really cared about, so all the dialogue really hit. Like one of my favorite moments is just the moment when Flash shows up behind Oliver and Diggle and Felicity are eating Big Belly Burger, and like Diggle like freaks out, and he's like, "That's not freaking you out!" Like shit like that.
What about the conversation that they had? Like when Diggle was just like, "My boy got experience. He don't give a fuck how fast your boy
or
is."
even,
like, that shit was awesome.
Or even just watching Barry, like who's been Mr. Lighthearted, giddy, like fucking choir boy, getting really pissed off. Like that scene when he said, "Oh, it makes you jealous, Mr. Rich, smart man. You can climb that salmon ladder until your heart explodes, but you'll never be like me, and that just must eat you up inside." And I'm like, fuck, Barry's going for the heart.
And then Oliver whooped his ass, which I was
about. It was dope. So like, don't get me wrong, the fight scene's a little silly, like especially when like Barry grabs like the fire from a dumpster and's like spinning around him. Like it's kind of goofy, but fucking hell, man. Just like the context of like these two guys who really like each other, just kind of like people telling each other that like Oliver's a bad influence on him and stuff. It's just there's just a lot going on.
I think all of them are great for different reasons. I like how they have a year. I like how they have a yearly thing, and I love that they did Crisis on Earth X too, because I still remember when I was at my friend's house, and then his fucking parents came in and shit, and they saw the Nazis all over the symbol all over the buildings and stuff. They're like, "What are you guys watching?" We're like, "Oh, this is the Arrowverse." They're like, "You mean to tell me this is the same stuff with what's the name, Green Arrow and them?" I'll be like, "Yeah, this is a crossover." They're like, "Oh my god." They're like, "What happened?" I'm like, "Yeah, there's a planet where, the Nazis took over and shit, which technically would have happened if Hitler wouldn't have betrayed Joseph Stalin at some point." So yeah.
Nah, I just like good character dialogue. I'm such a fucking nerd. I can't help myself.
Osnader said Ralph Dibny was so good, CW won't know what they're missing until it's too late.
Oh, I agree. Every time he was in a scene in these, especially in these later episodes when people were getting really tired, like his dialogue.
Brothers, please bring my boy back. Don't
Flash will survive without him.
Oh no!
Okay, this is what I want them to do. This is what I want them to do. I want them to say that he left. I don't want to hear that he got killed or something. Don't do that, because if they say he left, once Warner Brothers understands that their balls are bigger than everybody else, once they remember that, then it'll be fine. They could bring him back. Like,
I would be fine with them replacing him.
I think they're
you're talking about with a different actor.
With a different actor, yeah.
I think they're going to do.
I heard they were going to write off the character, but I just don't know what that entails. Though, is that he's leaving? You're killing him off. So, like, what are they going to do? But to me, I would rather they say that he's gone versus me seeing a different actor. I don't like when they do that shit. I really don't.
Oh, Age of Ultron is better than Endgame. Endgame sucks.
Age of Ultron is not better than Endgame.
It's better than Endgame.
Oh hell no!
Endgame
sucks. No, I think Infinity War is better than all three.
Absolutely.
But there's no way. The topic, and I ain't read it yet.
You put it there. You're the one who put it there. It's covering my fucking face.
Yeah, but you got to let the host read the comment first. Go ahead, read it, Danny.
Staring at
Jordan's Corner said that I guess even Avengers, but this is average, that Avengers Age of Ultron is better than Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. That is the stupidest thing I ever heard. I won't say it's stupid, but I definitely don't agree with it.
I don't agree with that at all.
No, Joe. I've had the privilege to talk to Jody, and when it comes to his insight on comics, like it's pretty fun to talk to him.
Endgame sucks.
Endgame sucks.
I like.
So did Age of Ultron.
I like Endgame. I really do. I like Danny. Remember we talked about how I think the last hour. Whew, Danny, man.
So what's better, Terrence? Age of Ultron or Endgame?
Joe is gonna live in the fan zone if he's saying Endgame sucks.
You talking about Anzo? You talking about like movie to movie, or are we talking about
movie to movie?
I'm gonna go with Endgame because like with Age of Ultron, it has a lot of good moments in it, but the storytelling and what they did with Ultron was a little trash. Was distasteful.
Okay, tell me,
Ultron himself sucks.
Tell me some of Jody's points on this.
You talking about in terms of in Age of Ultron
Ultron,
being better?
yeah.
If I remember correctly, he was stating that in terms of why he put that over Infinity War and Endgame is that he felt that there were a lot of stones that were unturned in both of those, and especially when you get to Endgame, he felt
Um,
that there was a lot of sloppiness with the writing as to where in Age of Ultron, kind of like how I said, there's a lot of good moments. He felt like a lot of the good moments in there paid off, and that the storytelling was more coherent and more consistent than when you compare them to those other two movies.
Not in
Personally,
better than not better than Infinity Wars though.
well, I
It's
mean,
definitely
but
not.
I'm shortening what he said just to
No,
sort of
I know.
get
No, I know
Danny's
what you're
question
saying.
faster. But
But
yeah, like,
but
so let,
not better than Infinity War.
well, I mean,
To,
to be fair, it's like, um, when I don't think I got to talk to him directly about that. I don't think, but in terms of his opinions, like, because you have there'll be these times where I really agree with him or I really disagree. Like the first time that I talked to Jody, it was him, me, and Sean, and we were discussing Man of Steel versus Superman Returns, and we were on completely opposite ends with that discussion. And I
mhm.
was able to go back and forth with him in an intelligent fashion for supporting Man of Steel over Superman Returns. So it's like sometimes I disagree with him, but in the way that he illustrates his point, it does come with a lot of intelligence and insight.
Yeah, I've
um,
seen him a couple of times. I'm not gonna say his opinion is stupid. I just don't agree with it, but that's his
Me neither.
opinion.
how
I
about
have no.
Danny, I'm telling you, Danny, I think like if you, because like I said, for me, I got to talk to him 3 times directly in terms of panels, like how we're doing now, extensively on different things. So I think
Mhm.
Danny, if you talk with Jody specifically about comics, like I think you would enjoy that shit a lot. Like I'm just saying.
Oh, I've heard him on some of his chat. He definitely knows his stuff. I'm not sitting here disputing that.
uh,
I'm just making it clear that I'm not calling his
yeah.
opinions or any other YouTuber's opinions stupid.
Stupid.
I'm
Hmm.
No,
just saying
absolutely
I
not.
don't agree with it.
Yeah.
I'm going to choose Infinity War in Endgame
So
every time over Ultron.
Yeah,
so bear
between
Me too.
yeah,
so
between those three, I'm picking Infinity War. Period.
Hmm.
yeah. I think I would have to agree. Bear with me here. And this is mostly, let me like finish up and then we can springboard off of it. I think a big deal is because I think we all kind of feel that Avengers 1 really just kind of worked because it's kind of encompassed its own story. Because that really felt like the one Avengers where the phase ended, quote unquote. But then you have Age of Ultron, and you could tell it was a stepping off point. And and there's a lot of really good shit in there. We have Claw show up, we have Vision revealed. Come on, dude. The after
Man,
party scene where they're picking
Danny
up.
and Anzo just had that villain moment. Did you,
I
John?
know.
Did you
No,
see how
I
they?
heard the cackle. No, I heard the cackle. It's fine. I'm gonna let him cackle at me because I'm used to this, man. I don't like Mandalorian. I
Oh
catch a lot of
shit,
shit off.
Danny and Anzo. That timing. That was like the villains. Like
They're bullies.
it was.
Y'all
It was like in this moment, John. It was like in this moment, you and I were the heroes, and Danny and Anzo were the villains. Like these guys don't know that we have a plan to get rid of them. Like
no, my dude, like they're bullies. They're straight up bullies. Hashtag
that
it's
I don't.
career.
I know you guys didn't plan that, Anzo and Danny, but that was perfect. That
Stop the
timing. That
damn
shit was
bullying, man.
ridiculous.
Oh
But
my god!
like I'm saying,
Y'all,
like I mean,
y'all
think
woo me, man. I'm sitting here listening to my boy John, and y'all
I'm
up there
just trying to set
accusing.
the stage, my dude. Like that's all
I'm
I'm
listening,
doing.
man. We weren't
But
laughing
no,
at
no,
you.
no, no, no.
Don't
Go,
worry
go,
about
go ahead. Go
No,
ahead, John. It's
y'all
just
bullies. Y'all bullies. I'm gonna take my ball and I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna cry.
it. They
Um,
say one word.
no, but like, I mean, let's think about it. Like some of the stuff that we were, because I think Iron Man 2 catches a bad rap for a lot of shit too. Has a lot of good shit in it. Definitely not as strong as number 1. Way better than 3. But my
yeah.
whole
I'll take
thing
that
is,
one.
but my whole thing is like we have like the after party with the hammer, a lot of character interactions. We get to see a lot of dialogue now, not nearly as many explosions and insanity. It's we get the Hawkeye stuff on the on and like when Cap rips the log apart and they're talking about like deterrence and like when you try to stop a war before it starts. A lot of really good iconic shit. Fight with Hulk was kind of forced and a lot of weird shit going on. And Ultron sucks. And don't get me wrong, Ultron should have been way cooler. Um, That was super off
I thought
base.
he was cool.
He's cool. He gets props for the was James Spader or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
That's his
voice
name.
was neat, but
Yeah,
Spader
he
was
like
awesome.
his voice was fire. I think
Which-
that's the best thing about Ultron is the fact that he talked. That's
but
it.
and his character design was just off base, and
And
like,
it
and
wasn't
his
robotic. That robotic talk like on the animation. I wouldn't
Yeah,
like that.
I would have.
I would have been okay with the robotic talk if he would have been killing people like crazy, like he was
Exactly.
supposed to do.
I wanted cold and menacing, and like I wanted a little bit more weight. Like the whole like dropping the fucking the whole plot was stupid. Don't get me
I'm
wrong.
like, what? I'm like, I said in the theater to my friend, they were laughing for like at least 2 minutes because they was like, T man, how you feel? I'm like, so my boy is getting upgrades for no fucking reason. When he gonna do
Oh,
something,
it's
you know?
silly. Like if you want to see Ultron be a fucking badass, even if you don't like the film, go watch the next Avengers. It's an animated one about the kids. I really like that one, but I don't know.
I saw that one.
I don't like that film very much, but Ultron was cool.
See, but I think that's where they got Ultron right. I don't know if I necessarily like the movie, but I like the Ultron stuff.
But I think now, and I could be wrong. If you want them to put the Ultron that you and Terrence want to see, it had to have been a rated R, and they're not going to do rated R.
No.
You could have gotten away with PG-13.
Danny, in this case, like what I would pitch to Kevin is like, you don't have to because you like
Off-screen
PG-13. I'm like, just have them. You can imply it and then have stuff being thrown and smashed. You can still do that. They could have
lots
done
of
that.
off-screen kills.
Yeah, off-screen stuff. But we know, like, oh man, he just killed all those people. Like you can make us feel it.
Doctor Who
like,
does it with Cybermen and Daleks all the time.
But Danny, but honestly, from what you said, Danny, between you and me, I would have wanted it to be as violent as possible because that's how it is in the comics. But for what Kevin Feige likes to do, I'm like, you could have made him more menacing in that context.
Yes,
absolutely. He's made of vibranium, and she pulls his chest out of his, right out of his chest. I'm like, come on.
Why are you wasting one of your own rubs? You're so it's so stupid. But don't get me wrong. It's kind of dumb. A lot of dumb with some good shit in there. And it's a good building block, which when it's in the middle, we're not at Endgame yet. Infinity War is really solid. And I will still say that Captain America Civil War is like Avengers 2.5. And people
can we remember the scene where Vision picked up the hammer when he was like, "Yep, I'm not
so dope. I'm sorry, there's a lot of really good there's a lot of really good character shit in there. My problem is I think the reason why, and this is where the hate's going to come in, bear with me. Infinity War I loved. I watched it a ton of times. I thought it was really good. A lot of setups. There's always going to be a problem in a film. Doesn't matter. Endgame really made me not like Infinity War anymore because all the setups felt like farts. And bear with me again. I'm going to go into Endgame and say,
I tell you what, if your foreplay game is like how you get to a damn point, your wife or girlfriend is a very satisfied woman, boy.
Last time I checked, women like long foreplay.
Here's my thing, Danny. Like I said,
women like long foreplay. First of all, from what I've heard. I'm sorry, Danny, that you get done in 2 minutes.
You are hitting home runs every fucking night, bro. That's all I'm saying.
Apparently, Missy Elliott made the 1 Minute Man song for my dude up here.
Okay. Here's the thing, Danny. Like I like Endgame, but like Infinity War, man, it just I like the storytelling, the moments, and then how I told you when Cap caught Proxima Midnight's staff, I was like.
Dope.
Like people cheered and it's like I had a different reaction because everybody was like, "Oh, it's Cap!" And then I jumped up, but it was like I was in shock that he caught it. So everybody was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "How the fuck did he?"
It wasn't even that. I'm gonna tell you where I was excited. I heard dun dun dun. Dun, 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 dun.
The soundtrack is dope. I don't know why people sleep on the soundtrack.
Danny, you're right. Because see, in the theater that I was in, what you had was the people that picked up on the music, right? Like how you did. People like, yeah, you had like a couple people there, and then when they saw a shadow, you had some more people. Like, oh. But then when it showed them, then you had more people cheering. And then when he caught that fucking staff, that's when the whole theater was like, yeah. I was like, how the fuck did he do? My friends were looking at me like, Terrence, what's wrong? That's not cool. I'm like, no, it's a great scene. I'm just he should be like less than dust. Like,
I think so kind of to finish out, because I'm going to move to Endgame, which obviously we can talk about Far From Home or whatever that comes after, whatever. We can talk about that till the cows come home. But for a lot of people, Endgame was the bookend. It was the pinnacle. It's what we wanted to see, especially when you see Tony Stark and Cap both drop out. It's going to be really hard to get that fever back. You know what I mean? And my whole thing is that even if
your ass out of existence.
just calm down. But with Age of Ultron, yeah, it kind of sucked, but it was still it was a building piece, right? So it's like, if we didn't like something, we still had opportunities to fix it, quote unquote. With Endgame, you were really hoping for certain things to happen, or
they did.
Fucking chill out. But we had stuff with other characters, and we had to figure, because like the time heist thing left a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths. It recontextualized a lot of things in other films. And when you're sitting there seeing that, and maybe a lot of people didn't even like the way it ended. I myself didn't like a couple of things that they chose to do. And when they decide to do those things, like Hulk's a really big one for me, and Cap is a really big thing for me. Because I again, my biggest thing is I think Civil War is the most slept on film in the MCU. It had a lot of stuff that happened, and it's like Endgame and Infinity War completely Endgame forgot that it existed. Infinity War worked. They just don't talk about Sharon Carter, the reason like why they were fighting in Civil War with the shield, that just gets resolved without talking. Hulk is killed off screen and Banner is puppeting his corpse. The Fortnite dabbing shit, kill me. Making fun of Fat Thor. I actually liked Fat Thor, but if they would have actually
was killed,
been serious about, because Hulk doesn't really exist. It's just Banner in Hulk's body. There's no cognitive dissonance.
I did like how the ancient one checked Hulk. That was one of my favorite moments. Like, sit your dumb ass down. You don't know how this shit works.
And I like the fact that it showed that the fucking wizards were at least doing something during the attack on New York, because that would make sense. But the timeline stuff is silly. I really didn't like them killing off Thanos and just replacing him with I'm bad angry Thanos. I really like the altruistic Thanos. I thought a lot of stuff at the end was a little contrived and silly. Like it was really neat to see the big battle, but at the same time, it removed all of the emotion that we've had built up for this entire thing. And I never agree with the idea that Cap would abandon his post and stay with Peggy. And on top of that, Peggy would never let him stay back in time. She'd be like, no, get the fuck out of here. Go back and be a hero. Like, I know you are. And also, I feel like the Bucky Cap thing, I'm not happy with Sam getting the shield. I think Bucky should have gotten it to try and redeem himself from being a quote unquote villain in the eyes of the world. But I don't hate it because I like Sam. The fact that there was an off-screen conversation between these two characters, Bucky and Cap, that we didn't get to see. We didn't even get I'm with you to the end of the line. I just don't get it. This felt like a ton of missed opportunities. And now I don't like Infinity War because of all these shitty setups that didn't happen.
I still love Infinity War, but it's like how I told you guys, like
I still like Infinity War, but like
after the movie, because I was just talking to my friends and that turned into almost 20 minutes because the couple of rows beneath me, everybody turned around and they were listening to what I was saying. I didn't expect that. I thought it was going to be, I just tell my friends and they were just like, what is this guy talking about? And then they actually started asking me questions. And I thought that was
during the movie, you guys all suck. Stop talking.
No. After the movie. Yeah. So like, but to me though, I do like a lot of the things that they did. You know, I do have like some what the hell. But Danny, when you said yeah, I'm gonna snap you out of existence, Danny, for some reason my phone froze at the same time when you had sent that text message. I was like, oh my God, like what the fuck did Danny do?
I'm just gonna back off onto something John said, and you're right. There was a lot of cool things in Age of Ultron, and the reason why we got all those character developments in those movies is so that when Avengers Infinity War came out, we didn't need to get them. We could go straight to what they needed to tell in the story.
Jokes, something like that. Yeah.
I don't know. And Infinity's War didn't have that much.
I'm going to say this, and,
Well, no,
and
I'm saying like the
I'm being
character
real
wasn't
serious on
landed
this.
because of all the setup. Like,
Wait. Go ahead, Danny. Oh.
As I'm going to say this, I'm going to be really serious. I mean, I don't understand why you don't like Endgame, but that is your prerogative as a movie goer. But apparently, whatever number of people it take to make it the highest grossing movie ever of all time disagree with you. So that to me that says something. Is it
box office? I don't give a shit about that.
Okay,
because it's the biggest event ever. It's a decade event. Everybody wanted to be part of it.
I understand that, but also it was setup time. It was set up.
That's what I'm saying.
They got the money shot. You may not agree with the particular shot that they did or what they took. You maybe can find some plot holes or whatever.
That was Danny. Danny, to be fair, man, that wasn't even a money shot. That was like the shit I say when they be drowning in the semen. That's what that was. They drowning in that shit.
But I'm saying the money they had two money shots. The first one when he caught the hammer, I almost lost my damn mind. And of course, cool. I'm the old man of the crew, so I was in there like.
Danny, what about Danny? What about this, Danny? What about Cap on your left? Like, remember that shit? Like,
that was what he said. When he said that,
Mom are the first one to walk through. Eat me. It's so dumb. He goes on your left. It's dumb. Sam should have landed right next to Cap. Who's the first person we see?
But why though? Like
because it's his friend who we had backup. Who'd we see walk through first?
Black Panther,
Shuri, and his mom. What's his mom doing on the?
That wasn't his mom. That was Okoye.
His mom. That was Okoye.
Are you sure?
Yes, we had this conversation before.
Oh, you already fucked this up twice.
Yes. You did.
But I still maintain. I think Sam should have landed right next to him because.
He did fly out. He flew out.
My boy flew out, and then it had the music, and it seemed to be the timing of the music of when they walked out, and then it got bigger and bigger. I was just like, all right, like.
No, I get it. The music and the visuals, they did
also that look between Black Panther and Cap. They kind of play a homage to a comic book and I think it was a animation movie. They two went at each other for a long time. They were kind of frenemies at one time.
Black Panther in the comic books beat the shit out of Captain America. Beat the shit out of him.
We like Sam Wilson. Didn't
brainwash Captain?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Wait, go ahead, Andrew.
No, I was gonna say, didn't Black Panther beat the whole Avenger team?
Yeah, like what happened was he beat the fuck out of most of the Avengers.
The Fantastic Four.
Hulk and Thor. Oh, no. Anzo is right. Like Hulk and Thor, they came later, but that was when he was trying to learn about the Avengers. That did happen. But in terms of Fantastic Four, he did beat the whole team. You know what I'm saying? So
Spider-Man too, if I'm mistaken.
Avengers Tower and took everybody out just to prove he wanted to be part of the team.
Right, but Anzo is right though, because a lot of people don't know that. Like Black Panther, Anzo, man, he put hands on that whole team, Anzo.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's why when you're in Endgame and it's the culmination of all the films, we got to go by the films. We all knew Sam Wilson.
Well, I will give. I'm gonna compromise with you. I'll give you the first 2 hours of Endgame.
Yeah.
I'll give you. It could have been, but that last hour, I don't care what you say.
There is no
comic book movie that can compare to that last hour of Endgame.
Absolutely right.
Well, my whole thing is like I feel like they wanted the spectacle more than the gravitas and like the emotional outcomes because
that's what the fans want to see. You don't give a shit about no gravitas except you.
I get it, man.
And they did give
I get it. We still got the shit with the hammer. We still got all the
emotional. But you say you didn't like the ending. What part of the ending you didn't like?
Let's see. There was a couple of things. One, I feel like Hulk got neutered in the fight. We didn't really get to see him do anything after the snap, which was kind of sad. I think there should have been a little more depth. I felt like we only lost two heroes. I don't even think we lost.
John, though, to be fair though, as Professor Hulk though, number one, regular Hulk would get his ass beat by Thanos all day, but him as Professor Hulk, that's even worse. He would have died.
But see, but see, if we're gonna suspend the disbelief, right? we've already seen a movie where Peter had to hold one stone with 4 people to not disintegrate to death. Hulk is all fucked up, but he's part of Gamma. You have Thanos with all the stones, and somehow Tony's strong enough to hold on to all those stones, just enough to have a moment.
But he died, though. He died.
I love the scene. It's cool. It's great.
And his suit absorbed that power. That's why he was
facing all of it. But how did he make the fucking thing that can hold all the stones? Why even bother with the gauntlet that Thanos had?
He made time.
But here's the thing though, in the comics though, Black Panther also had the gauntlet for a short time. Like Tony and T'Challa, they can make something to withstand it for a short period, but it will kill them afterwards.
Okay,
99% of the time.
I am saying they make a whole thing about getting like certain weapons, dying star stuff. The gauntlet is important. If Tony can just make it, like it kind of takes away a bit of the gravitas.
I don't think he had enough time to make it though.
No, he didn't. And the fact, that's why I was surprised when he was like huffing and he did that. I was like, because man, it was a handful of people actually that used the gauntlet in the comics. You had him, you had Black Panther, there was a few other people, but like again, these were circumstances where they had time. So because like Danny said, like he didn't have a lot of time, I wasn't expecting that. There was no way I was thinking, oh well, Iron Man could just build something, not in this amount of time. So when he did that, I was shocked. And then at the same time, I was thinking like, but that's gotta kill him though, right? And then sure enough, that's what happened.
Let me put it this way. I understand that I'm in the minority. I'm not delusional. I absolutely understand that the spectacle and shit I enjoyed a lot of the parts. I think this is a film that you could just watch a YouTube clip show and watch all the fun highlights and it'd be just as great. Because a lot of the scenes are really empty and shallow and stupid, to be completely honest. Especially a lot of the dialogue, and people are making really terrible decisions to get caught and progress the plot. It's really lame. Infinity War is a solid setup, and I felt Endgame just kind of dropped the ball. I think, was it good enough to make people happy? And people went to go see Rise of Skywalker. I'm sure they did fine. I'm going to tell you, I don't think this
Skywalker didn't make $2 billion.
But I also agree, and I don't think anybody's going to watch the entire trilogy, even though The Force Awakens did a fucking phenomenal job. I think Endgame had the same thing, just on the other end. It had a lot of build-up, and people wanted to go no matter what and be part of it. I think it's going to age poorly.
But hold on. It wouldn't have made $2 billion if those people didn't go back 2 and 3 and 4 times to see it.
Avatar.
Avatar was released almost every year when it came out. Every year, Avatar.
You're just making excuses. At that point, I don't care. Again, I don't care about box office. First of all, and second, again, I'm saying it's going to age poorly. That's all I'm saying. I think it's going to. It's going to age poorly.
This is what it already has. And this is what I'm saying. Look, I enjoy both of those, but if like, let's say I'm chilling, I don't know, randomly Infinity War comes on, I can watch the whole thing. With Endgame, I feel like I'd be waiting for specific moments or that last hour. Yeah, so to me, Infinity War consistently, I want to see the whole thing. Endgame is just I got the moments, even though I enjoyed that. Yeah.
I've said that on the stream many times that I'll watch the last hour of Endgame over and over again, but I won't watch the whole movie because I find after they kill Thanos at the beginning, then that part just drags on and it's kind of boring to me.
They removed a really cool villain that they worked really hard to really show up in the last film, and you just replaced him with generic "I'm really mad" guy, and I go, "Oh man, I miss really cool."
Anzo, did I tell you what happened? Like my reaction after did I discuss that with you and Danny about my reaction after they had killed Thanos?
Don't remember.
Okay, like in the theater, I'm not exaggerating. I was actually thinking about walking out of the theater when they cut off Thanos' head. Because I was like,
I was like, yes.
why did you do that? Like, because I knew it was 3 hours, right? So I was like, what are you gonna do? Like, I was really, really upset about that. But then, of course, I stayed because I'm like, well, I'm not gonna really leave. But the fact that crossed my mind, and it wasn't in a joking fashion, I was like, I should walk out this motherfucker right now. Like, but no, like I ended up enjoying it. I'm glad I stayed, but it just, I was like, what the hell are they doing?
My whole two things, I felt two missed opportunities, and this is where allow me, the fan, the nerd boy in me, to rewrite a minute. One, I hate Captain Marvel. I really think Thor should have saved Tony, because it would have been really neat to see Thor.
Hold on, I'll be right back, guys.
Okay.
All right.
It would have been interesting to see Thor see a disheveled, tiny, beat up skeleton of Tony, his friend. I thought that would have been really interesting. And I felt that moment was robbed from a established character. That's one. And two, I think killing off Thanos in the first place was a bad idea. Best case scenario, maybe we could get the mean version still to fight while we had the altruistic one held in some kind of cage while he's speaking his rhetoric to somebody like a Hawkeye who's already pissed off. It would have been really
like Danny is about to send us to the Phantom Zone. Like,
no, I'm not. I'm listening to what y'all saying.
No, I just I thought the altruistic Thanos, who was giving off these like almost like empathetic and sympathetic quotes whenever he was about to kill someone or do something. It would have been really
Danny, what does that mean? Like,
I'll tell you after the stream. We'll tell you
after the stream. It's crazy.
Oh God. Oh no. Is everybody making fun of the little
No, not at all.
No.
I liked the villain in Infinity War. We'd waited for so long, and that villain delivered. I wanted that villain to finish out the saga, and I felt like we didn't get him. So like having him in a cage doing like a mind manipulation through his using his philosophies and things like that could have been really interesting, especially to like a Hawkeye who was already pissed off. Could have been really interesting. And I feel like I just feel like a lot of movies were forgotten for the sake of spectacle, especially with the Fortnite and the dabbing and a lot of weird shit. And they made a lot of choices like that I felt kind of infected the story. But I think they nailed a lot of payoffs, and I love a lot of the memes in it. I think they're great. America's ass and Mjolnir and all that shit. I thought those were fine, but Love You 3000, good stuff. I thought the funeral was pretty solid.
The funeral was not solid. It went by in 2 seconds. You want to know a good funeral for Oliver
it should
Queen?
have been like
that
they
was
did
a funeral.
Fucking Superman in fucking BVS, where there was
or
like
what they did for Green Arrow. He had a whole segment. The whole thing. I was like, now that's how you should have did a funeral. Shit.
One thing I will say is that you were talking about Captain America and you're saying Peggy Carter wouldn't have done that. But if according to Avengers timelines and future stuff, when he went back in time, there would have still already been a Captain America there. So that's why Peggy Carter would not have been like, oh, go do your job. Because they already had a Captain America.
I just can't. I don't know.
That's fair, Anzo. But here's the thing, though. These SHIELD agents, as we've come to see, when it comes to the smaller aspects to a large degree, with the whole time travel, sort of doing the smaller tasks that the Avengers they don't get to because they're dealing with the more bigger villains. They would know about that stuff, and they wouldn't allow that. It would be too risky. It's like
you're talking about Agents of SHIELD, though.
Yeah, the SHIELD agents, because Peggy was part of that at one point.
Like, Peggy had her own show.
They don't like, as Deke explained it, these waves. Ripples are okay, but they don't like waves. Something like that would cause a wave.
But we can't compare Agents of SHIELD to the universe because they're separate now.
No, it's fine, but I'll go with the first movie.
Well, I mean,
what he says in Agents of SHIELD.
Peggy understood that Cap was going to sacrifice.
But here's the thing, though: the way that SHIELD works is within what they would do, regardless of the universe. They have protocols to follow. When certain things happen, they're not going to do other things. They have it in place, which is why they're always Johnny on the scene. Like even in the Avengers movies and stuff, like they were always there. SHIELD, yo, what are you guys doing? Hey, did you guys know about this? They're always there because they make it a point to keep up on it because they know that these heroes are doing so many things that they can't. They can't
But
keep up
Peggy,
with that
right?
stuff.
But Peggy Carter would have known then if Captain America came in and there was still a Cap there, not to make certain waves, and that's what I agree with. Like she was in love with him, so she's not going to tell him to run off and go do shit when there's already a Captain America running around in that universe.
But she
No,
wouldn't
but she wouldn't have allowed that though. Like even just the problem of seeing another one, she would have been like, no, like in her own show when she was dealing with the Leviathan.
But I'll go by the movie.
Leviathan
I'll
and
go by the
stuff.
movie. She knows
Yeah.
that he'll throw himself on a grenade to save people. There is no way Peggy's letting that shit happen. There's just no way.
There's a Captain America in that universe that will do that anyway.
I don't care. I don't buy it.
So they don't need him to be Captain America.
I'm sorry. I just don't buy it.
But you don't like it, but it's the
just saying, I don't buy it. I don't know what you want me to
do. I like to me the fact that he was like I mentioned before, he shouldn't have been able to have the stones like that. That's ridiculous. The whole him going through the different places and spending an entire life with Peggy, I thought that was really ridiculous. You know, we went over all that. Like it's fine. I don't hate it, but I think that it is a bit silly in terms of writing.
People like the endings, people like the moments. Feel free. I'm just saying, when you watch all these movies together, you're gonna really see the progression. And I really don't think this is gonna age well. That's just my opinion. I just don't think it's going to.
They might address it on WandaVision with the whole time, whatever, because they made a lot of mistakes. The Loki escaping with the Tesseract.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Like,
how did nobody pay attention to the fact that and then why would Jarvis not say fucking anything? And if any time to get fucking Paul Bettany's cameo into that film, you could have Jarvis in the tower being like, "Why are there like 4 signatures?"
I will forgive. I will forgive their stupidity. I will look. I will forgive their stupidity if they. I will forgive their stupidity
with Endgame every time.
Look. Like I'm fine with it, but I'll forgive the level of stupidity when they address it in like WandaVision and all that other or Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. They have to address it, and I think they will because
just get Danny a calculator. Are you doing trigonometry with me, my dude?
So, Danny, so you don't think that they're gonna address some of this in like the Multiverse of Madness? You don't think that's gonna happen?
Now they laughing over there like little kids.
I think I'm gonna go and be entertained, and I'm gonna be raising my blood pressure over whether or not damn Peggy Carter should have sent him back or not.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Danny, do you remember that I said I enjoyed the movie?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So I'm just saying.
Listen, bro. Listen, this is real talk.
I didn't. Though.
You, John, and Anzo are 3 grown men. Y'all got your own opinions and views. Don't hate me because I think some of the stuff y'all say is funny.
Danny, when did I say, Danny, when did I say that I hate you, man?
I didn't say that. I'm just throwing that out in the universe.
No. You look, you good, Anzo good, everybody good. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. But I'm just saying,
I just think some of the stuff is funny. That's all I'm saying.
And I agree with you 100%, Danny.
Some of it. I ain't saying all of it. I'm just saying some of it is funny.
Mm-hmm. I like I said, it's fine. It's not like a super big deal. But when you have these discussions, I think that it is a cool thing to bring it up instead of just like, oh yeah, this is fine.
I think you should have a discussion, but it should be a certain limit. I mean, okay, as I start seeing, well, I ain't worrying about that. Let's go to the next question.
I could literally go 4 hours and tell you every single problem.
I know you could. I know you could. I think I did that one. Okay. All Wally did in Arrowverse was complain and do nothing.
How dare you? That is wrong. He did bitch a lot.
When he came back from his Zen training, the stuff that he told Barry about what he should do in the Speed Force, that was important. I do have to highlight that. That was important. Now the rest of that stuff, somebody else could have told him, yeah. But that to me was important because that also plays into Barry's development and considering certain things. Like characters, they can't think of everything, so they have to point it out to them. I think that's important.
Gotcha. Also, said I wasn't a big fan of season 3 because they were in Flashpoint for 1 episode, and Savitar was a mediocre villain.
100% agree.
Yeah, you can't do. I remember when they announced that they were doing something Flashpoint esque because I knew they weren't going to do the whole thing. So I was like, is this going to be an arc thing or how are they going to do it? I was curious about that. And then when I saw what they did, I'm like,
It was weak.
I'm not disappointed because I'm like, there's no way they're doing Flashpoint with this. Like
Yeah,
they're probably going to
exactly.
say that for a movie. So I I was okay. I'm like,
But
all
you
right,
could have
well.
done some stuff, like at least like make it like a 4-episode arc, like where we could have seen.
I agree. I would have given it 10 episodes to be honest. Like
at
if they
least half
told
the
me,
season.
like if they told me, okay, T, we gonna have you do this in this show. I'm like, can I have at least 10 episodes at the bit? Like, yeah, okay, cool. I don't want to do no one episode, not even two. Give me about 10 and see what we can do there.
You could have done some really cool stuff, like because like especially like the chemistry between Barry and the mom actress, like.
Yeah.
Having her be alive for like 8 episodes, I would have loved to see what they could have done with that. And
Right.
Iris was dead, and like Joe was like a disgruntled guy that, you know, they just could have really done a lot of cool shit.
And the thing that I noticed too with the writers on the Flash and Arrow, in a lot of these DC shows, including the Marvel ones, I could tell that these people don't know shit about these characters. What they're
Kind of what
doing
it
is
feels like. Yeah.
they're picking and choosing little pieces from different storylines and sort of combining them. And
It's like
I
they
can
go on
tell that.
Twitter
I'm like,
and
you don't
figure
know
out
that.
what's
I'm like,
memeing.
that's not how that would
But I
go.
think they're doing
And
that. I think they're making that do entertainment because only people that's pissing off is the true purists of the comic books. But a lot of stuff they're putting there is entertainment value.
I'm not.
I don't know, man. I'm not a huge purist.
Danny, that's true,
Avatar
and you're not
sucks.
wrong about that. But number one, Danny, you know I'm not a purist, because if I were, I wouldn't like none of this shit.
And I barely read any of it. So
With the exception of maybe Doom
yeah,
Patrol
but
and Swamp Thing.
maybe not you per se, Terrence. But a lot of people are saying, "Well, that's not my so and so. That's not my so and so."
Well, you see a lot of that shit with Spider-Man.
Then they revert back to the comic books.
Right,
and
right.
Then,
you're right. You're
see,
right.
you can't have your cake and eat it too. And Star Wars fans are the worst. They're like, well, this, and this. Okay, look.
Again, you had movies. You had movies that established it. Same thing.
I'm not even going to get to that Star Wars thing. That'd be another whole topic. And we only got like 10 minutes left. But I want to say,
we have 14.
14 what?
14 minutes. Yeah, we got 14 turns. Don't worry. Danny's not trying to drip you 4 minutes.
Damn, I was like, my boy trying to cut me out 4 minutes.
No, we got 10 minutes. According to my watch.
But it says 2 minutes, 46 seconds, and 30.
Oh, okay. I'll give you that. Okay. I'll give it. I'm looking at my clock. Anyway, I want to say this right now. We got 17 people watching.
Nice.
Which I want to say thank you. I appreciate that. Please share this link and tell your friends. We want as many people to come in.
And to that, I would like to say that I appreciate it.
Oh.
And we also got 15 likes. So that is all.
Hey!
So thank y'all. We appreciate
there
it.
You go, y'all. We on our way to a 10-hour stream, boy. Like we almost there.
You had to fuck it up, didn't you? You had to fuck it up.
In 24, 1 year from now.
And you
500 subscribers.
You had a 5-hour stream already, Terrence.
No. That ain't enough. That ain't enough.
Well, add this to it, and that's 8.
Yeah.
Nah, hell no. I don't want no broken up shit. I want the full 10-hour stream.
500 subscribers. We're gonna do a 24-hour stream.
But Danny, no, you're right though. Like, because I do have a couple friends to where they would fit that definition of purist, to where they don't watch a lot of stuff I do because of that. With me, it's like I'm lenient to certain things. I'm like, okay, now I'm like, all right, fine, just make it good, because I have like, the whole how I feel like you should tackle the characters and stories. I'm not into these changes and things that they do with the race and stuff, but I'm still like, if you can make it work, I'm happy for you. I don't want none of it to fail, but certain things do strike me as being stupid. And I'm just like, why would you put yourself in that position?
Can I say I'm starting to get mad at you three? Because you gotta talk to people in Hollywood. Why does Hollywood hate gingers so much?
Why are you mad at me? Like, I don't have a problem with no ginger.
No, because lately because I need you guys to start yelling at Hollywood and go, stop turning redheads black. We need redheads. Redheads are good.
I'm at a disadvantage now. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh
John,
man, like
I've been talking about different things, man, and I'll bring up things not so
Bradley
much that
killed
I'm
my
mad, but
redhead.
I'm like, yeah. To me, I'm like, look, they're like, man, man, we gonna do this, and instead of the red hair, it's gonna be black. Instead of blonde, it'll be the brunette or whatever. I'm like, can't you just make the hair white if it's supposed to be white? No, people, the average person may not respond well. I'm like, look, let me tell you something. They don't know any better. If they don't know shit, they don't know shit. If you make it good, I'm pretty sure they're not going to care what fucking hair color it is. So you might as well give them their hair color. It's
I,
not that hard.
I feel like black women and redheads are both minorities in Hollywood,
Well,
and we need representation for both. Stop getting rid of my redheads.
Whoa, hang on.
hold
If
on, hold on.
Hollywood is listening, we got to make sure they don't like twist that shit.
And
When we
I
say
will,
representation, you better give
you
them
say
their own
Batwoman?
shit. No hand-me-down
Did
tokenized
you see the
roles.
Batwoman casting?
first off, I will say I will
Dude.
not. I have no problems with the Batwoman casting. So first off, I will say
New character, at least.
you will not get that from me.
It's not Kate Kane.
If
so
they change a ginger to a black woman, I am all for it. So you won't get that.
Okay, but here's the thing though. I know that they're like, it's a different character. I'm like, if she wears the Batwoman costume, she's Batwoman. I don't care that she's a different character. Stop forcing shit. I'm like, they didn't even get Kane right.
But let me ask this question, because to me this is the elephant in the room.
Okay.
If I change the ginger to the black or the black to the ginger, and the ginger kills it or the black kills it, what does it matter?
Okay, here's the thing, Danny. Now, I know why they're doing it, right? They want the cool points because they use black people and the LGBT LB8L you know what it is plus
the
community.
alphabet people.
Yeah. Like in any sort of minorities in that sense, they use them as political tools.
Sorry.
Right? That's what they do. LGBTQ plus community, right? Like they use them as political tools. Like, oh, let's make them gay, let's make them black, and they think they can get cool points. But the problem is you're using them as tools instead of treating them like people.
Feels
and
condescending.
the storytelling suffers because of that. So I'm like, your show is not going to get better because you throw a black chick in there. How about you work on your fucking writing and get some people in there that know what they're doing? And I'm like, for the person to accept it, I'm like, that's fine if you like hand-me-down roles instead of doing your own stuff. That's fine. And if it turns out well, that's fine too. I'm happy for you, but at the same time, I don't care what actor or actress you put there. If you don't fix the material, you still have a piece of shit show. It's still going to be a piece of shit.
Okay, let me ask you this.
I agree with.
Let me ask you this, because I've been asking Caucasian males this. So I'm gonna ask this panel this: if the world, if let's just say that on this planet, I'm not saying necessarily Earth, but on a planet,
Okay, Mars,
there is a particular species and a sex of that species that is dominant, has been dominant since the beginning of the time on that planet, and now there's a time when another species
Dinosaurs.
or another race challenges that person's. If the roles were reversed, wouldn't you do the same thing?
What?
No, here's the thing.
No.
I'll tell you this, Danny. Look.
No.
That
I don't think John understands my question. I want to make sure you understand it. If you were the dominant race or species or sex for the dawn of time, 50, 60, 70 years.
If I was a dinosaur, sure.
No, I'm not saying dinosaur. I'm saying if you were your particular sex and your particular nationality was the dominant sex nationality for 100 plus years.
Sure.
Then someone else that doesn't look like you and not your sex tries to come up and make things change or more equal. Okay. If the roles were reversed, wouldn't you try to do the same thing? And why would you?
But okay, here's the thing though. Why
are you so confused?
Okay, but here's the thing though. Like I
hold
told
on,
you,
I'm gonna let you talk. I'm gonna let you talk, Terrence. I'm trying to figure out why John is so confused with my question.
No, it's because you're talking about, okay, so do you want equal rights in the real world, or are you talking about representation?
Because I'm saying in the real world, like, from my point of view, some of these females and the people in the LGBT community are does not have equal rights when it comes to being particular parts, roles, and stuff. Now they're fighting back, and it seems that the pendulum is swinging back their way. And so I'm saying, if the roles were reversed, would you be trying to fight for the same thing?
I think my issue is that people are over exaggerating. I think women can vote now. Black people can vote now. People have equal rights. We're having issue. No, but we're having issue with, and it doesn't feel that way. And I get it. But you also have to understand we're also in a system now, right now, where you can't be racist to white people. Literally, people say that. And so I would make the argument we've been in that for a few years now. If you go back and watch films before the year 2000, there are minorities and women and those characters. People are trying to overinflate this. And I think things were getting better and now we've regressed. Was it always perfect? Absolutely not. You would say, oh, but you're white. You look like, yeah, sure. Maybe I got hired somewhere at some time, but like I'm still fucking poor. I still have things going on. I was in a military family. Shit happens. But I'm talking about a paradigm shift, and I get what you're saying. Like if I felt like I was in a minority, would I feel better if I saw representation or something swing more my way? Absolutely not, because I don't feel like that now. When I watch things like Men in Black, I don't like Will Smith because he looks like me. I like him because he's charismatic and he entertains me. I don't watch Mulan and think Mulan looks like me. I don't look at Lion King and Simba and Mufasa.
You don't, but
I just don't.
No. But
good for them. But I don't. And I think putting that on everybody and acting like that's everybody's thought process is insane.
Look, the diversity. Look, on Stargirl, they have a lot of diversity. And a lot of people don't notice that because it's done right. You know, eventually you see, oh yeah, you know, that's a black chick, Hispanic. That's how you're supposed to do it. And the way that they do it on like Supergirl or even something like Batwoman, it's in your face and it does a disservice to the characters. That's why nobody's watching that shit anyway. You know, they try to make it sound like it's groundbreaking. It's condescending. Like one of my friends who's very close to me, who's gay, I was like, how do you feel about the Dreamer character on Supergirl? He's like, that shit is extremely disrespectful. I'm like, oh, why is that? And he's like, because they're being used as political tools. The Dreamer character is such a fucking agenda-driven SJW PC tool because she's only there to go, I'm a victim. I'm transgender. I'm a victim. They keep killing us. I'm a victim. She's not like the other characters where she shows up. She's badass. She's a good character. And she happens to be transgender, which is a difference. You don't have to do that all the time. It is the typical thing that they do. And every time that they make changes to characters, they're black. They have to be black. And then they're black and gay. And then they make sure that you know that all the time. They're like, look at us. I'm like, stop doing that. It's unnatural. Like these people are people. Black people are people, members of the LGBTQ plus community. Whatever they want to be identified as, they are people too. And amongst my friends, anyone that is gay, I don't have anyone. I don't have a trans friend yet. But when we're all hanging out, we're not addressing each other by our ethnicities and stuff. The comic book characters don't do that. When they're in the room, when Superman and Hawkgirl and Wonder Woman, when they're all there, you don't have them bashing the men. The men are not bashing the women. They're all equals. They don't look at each other's race and gender, and they don't have all this stupid shit centered around it and making them a victim all the time because that's the narrative. And they try to tell you that, oh yeah, diversity is good. Yes, but when it's done in the right way.
Okay, so let me ask you this then. So let's say they change Superman black, right? You have no SJWs, nothing like that. Are you okay with that?
Well, first of all, that's a little different because Calvin Elvis.
I'm just saying a regular Clark Kent Superman.
Straight up
black.
No. See that? Now that's stupid because the difference between that and making Batwoman black, which is a completely pandering, stupid ass move for a failing show, instead of just reworking the entire show, with Superman, because there are black Supermen in the multiverse. There is no need to race swap when that already exists.
But the black Supermen in the universe, only you know them, Terrence. A lot of other people don't know them. I don't know
fine,
that.
Okay, but do you really care? I don't have to say the same thing back to you. Why do you care so much?
Here's the thing, though.
Black Superman.
Okay, here's the thing.
Idris Elba, you had him in Hobbs and Shaw.
Okay, look.
Superman.
Here's the thing, though. Okay, here's the thing, though. I get you, Anzo, but see, look, in the way that humans don't know, that's even more of a reason why you don't have to. That's the underlining point. Like when like if I were talking to somebody in Hollywood and they're like, hey, I got a great idea. Let's make Clark Kent black. And then you would have maybe one person like me, like, well, how about we use Calvin Ellis instead? Well, people don't know him, Terrence. I'm like, well, that's
They will
exactly
when they do it.
they will when they do it. Like that is an opportunity for you
I
to
get it.
cast someone and do that.
I
And
get it.
it's like
But the
because that's
chances of
there,
not
it should.
making as much money as a Clark Kent Superman is slim. That's
But
the
then
Okay,
who
point.
cares
but
about
here's the
money
here's the
though? Like,
thing. But
try and
here's the
make a
thing though.
character that can hold its own.
But here's the thing though.
You don't.
With
You just
Clark,
don't trust your writing
One at a
skills.
time.
Then.
One at a time.
but
It's
here's the thing
about
though.
money for the studios, bro. That's
It
what it's about. They're doing it to
right
make
right.
Yeah, I don't care though.
Here's the thing.
you
They
don't.
are
Because of the money. I don't-
here's the thing. Like I get it. It's about money. My thing is that it's too often that they disrespect my people, including black women. They just give them hand-me-down roles, and they often put them in positions to be criticized when they can just give them good stuff. That's
I
what I
get it.
want for them.
But make it
I want them to have good stuff. Like I don't want if I had a friend, Janet, she come like, oh T, man, this is great. I got a lead role in the show. I'm like, oh, what is it? She's like, oh, I'm gonna be Buffy Summers. I'm like, Buffy Summers is white. Yeah, but this is a reboot and stuff. And I'm like, well, I'll tell you what. I hope it succeeds for your sake. But no matter how good your show is, you know what they're gonna say? You're the Black Buffy. Because when you talk about the two,
Yeah.
in order to say the difference, you would have to say that. Which one are
but
you talking about? There's a
but
white
now
one
if the
and a
black
black one.
I agree with that statement.
I do too, but if the Black Buffy comes out and is better than the original, then that statement doesn't last anymore.
Well, no, but here's the thing though. Regardless of if something is better or worse, it's because it's not the first. Like if you have
Yeah.
two versions of Hercules and one is a different
Yeah.
ethnicity, regardless of if it's better or worse,
I'm sure
the
some people.
conversation.
I'm
Mhm.
sure some people will say the white kingpin is better than the black kingpin.
Right,
And I like
my
Michael
thing,
Clark Duncan almost better
and
than
I
Vincent
love Michael
D'Onofrio,
Clark Duncan,
but
but
they're
I'm
both
like to
good.
me, I gave him a pass because of who he was. I got into that before, but my thing
Yeah.
is, I want good material no matter what. I want women, those in the LGBTQ plus community, whatever, anyone that identifies as whatever. I want them to have their own opportunities, and there is a pattern that Hollywood likes to do. That's
So let me-
all, and I think that
so-
it does
Okay.
it does them
All
a
right,
disservice.
Yeah, I'm gonna do
All
a
right.
hot take to finish this out. I think a lot of writers and apparently certain communities, I think they're just pussies and they don't have a lot of faith in their own writing skills, that they think they need the name to make their story work. Did we know for a fact that Lion King or Pocahontas or Aladdin was gonna work when that came out? No, they made the movie and it nailed it, and then they tried to make sequels and stuff. Trust your writers. Trust the thing you're going to do. When you try to make the product before the story, good luck. And when you're doing the swapping stuff, you're banking on the name. You're not banking on your talent or the way you're writing it. You're banking
John,
on the name, and I think that's superficial and shit.
I hear what you're saying, and I agree
That's
with
where
you saying to a certain point. But we live in a world now where people worry more about the money than what they're worrying about the content.
Well,
and
No,
whether or not the
you're
story is
right.
good.
And that's
Look,
fine. Maybe
look.
we should change it.
Again, look,
And maybe we
y'all.
should change it.
Look, y'all. John, Anzo, Danny. This is.
I don't think
again,
you're
like,
wrong.
I'm saying this. I don't think none of you guys are wrong. I hear you and I believe you. There is evidence and facts. I understand all of that. Trust me. But I feel that it was necessary for me to state my opinion because most humans actually feel that way, but they're afraid to because when you do, they call you a sexist, a racist, you get canceled. And when they're really thinking the same thing, but they don't want to say it, they'll say it to their friends, to their family. They're not going to say it on a public platform unless you're like Cat Williams or Dave Chappelle, because they don't care. They'll just tell people how it is.
If it's good,
But
it's good. That's
if
just where I'm
it's
at.
good, it's good. And it's like I just look. I'm like when Kevin Feige did the MCU, nobody knew that stuff was going to work. He was hoping Phase 1 had to work. So it's like you might as well just give it a shot. It's like in this day and age, if Warner Brothers, I don't want them to do it right now, but if they were to announce tomorrow, like we're doing Calvin Ellis, most people ain't gonna know that. They'll be like, oh, some people might say that's race swapping, and then it would be someone like me, like, actually, this is one of the rare times when that's a real thing, right? And it's like in this day and age where, you know, they like to make everything black and everybody has to be gay and all this other stuff. I'm like, look, you can use that and it will probably work. It's like it's a black Superman. Like you'll like maybe a lot of
And
black people will respond to it and all kinds of stuff. And then you hope that it's good, right? You want it to be good.
And I will end it out by saying, as long as you don't change the character, it does not matter if you change his color or not.
No,
As long as it doesn't hurt the story.
I don't want.
It doesn't hurt the story.
That's
Look,
what I'm saying.
at the end of the day. Now, when I say stuff like, as long as it turns out good, right? You know, like how when Danny.
But if you fuck up, you're going to be under a lot more scrutiny. I think.
Absolutely.
But one of the biggest
like
things is that for years Peter Parker was white, then it transitioned to Morales.
Miles Morales,
it works.
And what is it does?
Especially he has the Spider-Man moniker though.
Right. And what is Miles Morales? He's a good character. He Miles Morales. Since you want to bring him up, Miles Morales does have some good comic books, and he is a good character. But he's also a tokenized version of Peter Parker. He's not an original black character. An original black character is Black Panther. You have Falcon. He later became a version of Captain America. Black Lightning. These are characters that started black. Tokenized means that they are white or that they are black versions of already established white characters, which is the thing to do. But there are plenty of original black characters that they do not use. Okay. Like Static. They could bring Static on Black Lightning.
I would watch
that. That'd be sick. Like I'm like, there are if you want to use black or gay or whatever, I'm like, there are avenues for that. I'm like, you guys should share those with the world in the way that you shared Ant-Man and Iron Man characters people didn't know or care about at the time. And look what happened. When you do it right, it can work. Make it work.
A raccoon is
fucking talking raccoon in a tree, my dude. Like,
I'm sorry. Yeah.
We're gonna wrap this up because it's going over 3 hours. So I'm gonna go through these. God,
I love talking to you.
Really fast. I ain't staying on them all night because I gotta go. So we're going through really fast, making comments, and let's roll. First one is from Mike Shrews. I wish they would bring back Julian. He was a nice dynamic to have with Barry.
I liked him.
Was that the guy that played on Harry Potter?
Yeah, it was Draco Malfoy. Tom Felton. It was great.
Oh yeah. He was cool. I
liked him.
I agree with Mike. I like Julian as well.
I also agree.
Sean Wiggins. I'll talk at you later about that, bro. Also, Captain Cole is one of my favorite characters on The Flash. I agree.
Yep.
With the way they are writing, my guess, Godspeed will end up from another Earth, thus giving the new frequency for them to access the new multiverse because CW can't live without it for too long.
Well, actually, in the comics too, like after Crisis, eventually the multiverse did reform.
Yep.
So that'd be accurate. There you go.
No, it'll be accurate. I just think it's sad because Flash doesn't have a lot of seasons left in it.
No, it doesn't. But the good thing about the Arrowverse is because it's so vast and shows that as long as one exists, it can go on. And technically, because of Crisis and it connected to everything DC, it will always be around, technically. So, there you go.
I think they may transition to the JSL. They may tie that in. They could do that show.
Oh, shit, man. I want to see Courtney beat up Supergirl. I would love that shit.
I think everybody...
They showed the table doing Crisis, so that could be a door to the Justice League or the JSL or whatever they want to do. So
I'd like to see the comic staff hit Supergirl so hard it ends her show.
Please let Courtney bop Kara upside the fucking head with the cosmic staff, man. That'd be dope. Honestly.
So hard that her show gets canceled.
Or so hard that she thinks she understands that kryptonite is not her worst weakness at that point. That's what I want.
Fucking magic, bitch.
Heat Wave and Captain Cold are one of the best partnerships, and it really showed in Legends of Tomorrow.
Hell to the yes. Second would be Freema and Professor Stein. Jackson Stein. I love them.
Yeah.
Firestone was really cool too. I was really upset when they killed Stein.
I think everybody was.
Danny, when how did you, man? I'm telling you, when Stein got shot and he was on the ground, with the way Jax was screaming, I'm not gonna lie, I was screaming at the TV too.
I was mad.
Tremaine can can attest to that. Jermaine was like, "What the hell?" I was like, "They fucking shot Stein!" Like they shot.
And also, everybody always talks about John Boyega in Attack the Block.
You would think that he could
have
combined and change a bullet to something that would
like water or some shit.
Does he have the power to change stuff?
True. That is true, Danny. But
he can only do that with Stein in him.
Right. It depending on the nature of the wound when they're separated, sometimes it can be too late. It can be too late
because they need life force to connect each other. Also, again, I'm going to throw it out again. Everybody always talks about John Boyega in Attack the Block. Freema's in that film, and he's also great. So, gonna throw that out there.
Age of Ultron was the weakest Avengers movie.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
I think it is.
It probably because like when you think about it, like Avengers.
I don't like Endgame at all. But
what'd you say?
I would say Age of Ultron is probably the weakest, but it has some of the best stuff in it.
Because look at the other three.
Anzo?
I said he said Endgame was the weakest before.
I still think it sucks, but like it has more meme. No, I don't know. No, Endgame is probably the weakest.
But look at the other three though.
It ruined Infinity
you got
War.
the first Avengers, you got Infinity War, and you got Endgame. To me, those three are better than.
It's so hard because I like Infinity War so much, and Endgame like ruined Infinity War for me. It just sucks. I don't want to get back on.
I will meet you guys halfway and say the Endgame is overrated. It's a great movie, but it's rough in some parts. Also, you about to be into the Phantom Zone, bro. If I could only reach that far.
Well, I think that a lot of humans' enthusiasm for Endgame does come within that final hour. If we're going to be honest, it's really
okay. I'll say that you can say overrated all you want, but when you are the best, the highest grossing movie in the damn world, then everything else can kiss my ass. I'm sorry.
100%.
That's how I feel.
I'm not going against.
I'm not saying that towards you, Terrence. I'm saying it towards other people.
No, I'm just saying I'm not. I just want the
I know other. What do you mean,
people, Danny?
Other people. One that wearing a black and red Spider-Man hat. That's who I'm deferring.
Shout out to Miles.
D. Scott said, "Endgame was so good, epic, sad, and like end of an era."
That was the point. Had to be end of an era.
Right.
I love Infinity War.
It seems like the end of the era, but if you ask me, I'm like, compared to all the stuff that's in the Marvel universe, they haven't done shit. Nothing. It's like, but yeah.
I like all the Avengers movies. I do too, D. Scott. I prefer Iron Man 3 over Iron Man 2, but I do understand why people don't like it.
You're a bad person.
Nope.
You're a bad person.
Nope.
You're
My
just
favorite scene in Age of Ultron was when they tried to lift the hammer.
Yeah. Everybody loves the after party scene. Come on now.
Yeah, and then Thor got a little bit worried when Cap moved.
I love that shit.
Mm-hmm. Why everybody hate the Green Lantern movie? I think it was okay. It will not bad or good. It was okay.
You're also a bad person.
No, the movie was horrible. Ryan Reynolds was not Hal Jordan. It was terrible. The only redeeming thing in that whole movie was Mark Strong as Sinestro.
I don't know. Blake Lively was looking pretty good too.
I agree.
Yeah, she looked good, but she didn't do shit in the movie. Fuck that.
Smoke Monster. Ooh, so neat.
That scene for Avengers Endgame where everybody came out, Avengers Assemble, I fell out of my seat and I passed out.
It was all right.
Yep.
Shit, I didn't pass out. I need to see that.
Also, John, I agree with you that Homecoming is better than Far From Home.
Oh, Far From Home sucks. Has some cool moments. Terrible film. Homecoming's a really solid film.
Doggone Mysterio, man, was awesome in that.
There's some really good shit. And again, like I'll even say, like Mysterio, I loved him like playing the good guy. It was actually kind of sad to see him go villain in that movie. I would have actually liked to seen a 2-parter, and he goes bad in the third one.
Yeah,
that would have been dope.
I could get on with that. Spider-Man 2, Homecoming, Far From Home are the best Spider-Man movie.
Oof,
I disagree with Sean. You need to see
Spider-Man 2 bro. Like peak. Like
you said, wait, what? The two best? To me, the two best are number one being Into the Spider-Verse, and then I'll go Spider-Man 2 after that.
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man 2, Spider-Verse. I like a lot of shit in Amazing Spider-Man. Sadly,
what's up, Steve?
I don't know.
Glad you could join us. I know it's.
I like the first one a lot. I don't like.
Yeah, the second one's fucking abysmal, but the first one had some really good shit in it. I liked Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. I don't know about his Peter Parker, but I really liked his Spider-Man.
His Peter Parker was terrifying. I'm like, what fucking Peter is this? This dude is
Mhm.
grabbing
He's
people by
fucking
the neck and shit. I was
skateboarding
like,
and skateboarding
did he
and
get
shit.
like a symbiote in his skin or something?
I already,
What the
I already told them that I got the Terrence stamp of approval for my Spider-Man pick that time.
Absolute Anzo. I was you said it was during the stream. I was high fiving you the whole time. The whole time.
Steve Kenobi says Endgame was okay, but it was a difficult one to do perfectly. I think as long as it was satisfactory, I think people should be happy with it. It wrapped up 20 movies or whatever.
I will give you the first and last sentence. That middle one I would cut out. Yeah, it's always going to be hard to wrap something up like that. I would make the argument they should have taken a little more care and waited a little longer. It felt like they rushed that final one, like they were still like writing and editing and doing stuff when they put it out. That was a film. I think everybody as fans could have waited one more year.
Yeah, they definitely shoehorned a few things in there, like Captain Mediocre Marvel. But yeah.
I think if they would have waited one more year and polished it a little bit more, it could have been a little bit better. And honestly, I would even have sucked it up and let it be a little longer. To be completely honest, I would have sucked it up for like a 3.5 hour film or something like that. I know it would have felt longer.
I can't argue that.
Yeah, I'm forgiving of a lot of stuff, but just certain things, it's like, why did you do that?
Yeah.
Why?
Everybody seems to have a problem with the time travel thing. I don't have a problem with it. Shit, it ain't fucking quantum.
Because you're not doing trigonometry, dude.
Danny, what did I tell you about that? I said I enjoyed it. I thought it was entertaining. I just thought it was also.
I hear you, Terrence. When I make statements, I ain't.
No, that one should be aimed at me because I didn't like it.
Danny, when I talk to you, it doesn't mean that I feel that you are attacking me. It's just only me adding to our amazing conversation.
I got you. I'm never attacking you, Terrence.
I feel Daddy talking down to this guy.
I'm attacking John on some of the stuff. Some of the stuff he's saying is crazy to me.
Danny, Anzo, none of you guys. I never feel like that. I'm only adding to the conversation.
I just want to make y'all think. That's all. Just want to give you a perspective.
Hey, you're making my head hurting. Boy, hurting sometimes.
I'm gonna teach you some trig. I'm gonna teach you just a little bit of trig. Chapter 1.
Like Danny.
I'm not going to get you to the end of the book.
I feel like Danny is like that main boss, and then I come in and I keep giving him all the details, and he just shoot me like, all right,
I'm telling you, my favorite saying, man, is "show me the baby." I don't give a damn about the damn labor pains. That I use that at work all the time. Show me the baby. I don't want to hear about your labor pains. That is my go-to statement.
You gave birth. Shut up. I don't care.
He gonna shoot me in the head. He gonna be like, Anzo, what you got? Anzo gonna come in with the papers like, yeah, sir. Yeah, Spider-Man down the street. You're like, why the fuck didn't Terrence just say that shit? Like,
boo-hoo! You got shot in the arm. They gave you morphine. Stop crying about it.
That's what I say all the time at work. They come in, Major Graham, blah 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 blah. Hey, baby, I don't need no labor
Danny,
pains.
you actually feel like I'm like the 5-year-old kid, like I got my toys like on Christmas, and I'm coming into your room and being like, Dad, like, look, do you know what this guy does and this guy does? And you're like, I don't care.
You know what? No,
shut up.
Like,
go.
I say, son, do you know it's fucking 5 o'clock?
Get the fuck out my room.
I see, but this is where I feel like I might get some heart attacks. Like Danny and Anzo, they over there like giving the stamp of approval and green light and stuff. And by the time it makes its way to my office, I'm like, what in the hell? What the fuck?
After we get off of here, we'll tell you what we were laughing about. After we get off of here.
Yeah, I saw your
ain't got nothing to do with
toilet seat picture. I saw that shit.
Dan, what did I do? How did
it ain't got nothing to do with you, bro. It ain't got nothing to do with you. But we're gonna tell you. This is the beauty of conversation. Everybody has their point of view on everything that they've seen. I agree.
And also shout out to chat for being civil to each other as well. We appreciate you.
Also, that scene with Captain America with a Mjolnir was awesome. I agree.
Oh, who didn't cream their jeans? Come on.
And you know what's funny about that? I was cheering at that, but then I was also looking at the time on my cell phone. I'm like, he should be getting his ass whooped any minute now. Like, all right.
You know what I liked better than him doing that though? Was when Thor goes, "You take the little one." I'm sorry. That fucking killed me. I love that moment.
You know what's funny though? Like I thought Fat Thor was funny.
I like Fat
Thor. I still don't like that they did that. I could have dealt without that. So just kind of
they could have done it. They should have done the whole movie. When he got both those hammers and transformed, he should have been Rune King Thor.
He was Rune King Thor. He was just at like 20% of his power.
No. I mean he should have been like Slim and Trim Rune King Thor. Like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
ready to come here and kick your ass. I don't need the rest of these guys.
I
That's what it
have
was.
a question though.
Yeah.
So
How do you braid his hair?
No, Milner and Stonebreaker have the same powers, right?
No.
No. There are some differences. There are some differences.
Some differences, but can anybody lift Stormbreaker?
Yes.
Yes.
Because the spell was put on
The
by
spell was on the
Odin.
Moonir.
Okay, that's what I
Odin
wanted
did
to know
that.
because my question is, what's his name? Thanos grabbed Stormbreaker, and I'm like, how can he do that if that's
okay? But here's the thing, though. No. But
curse on him.
okay, but here's the thing, though. It doesn't matter if it's Mjolnir or Stormbreaker. Thanos is Thanos. Thanos was able to take on a full power Odin and Galactus and not die.
I don't think Thanos could lift Moonir though. I don't think he could do it.
But here's the thing, though. If Hulk can lift it with pure strength, Thanos can do the same thing.
I'm talking.
Yes,
I'm
he
talking
did.
about.
I'm talking
I'm not talking about comic book. We're talking about movie world. In the movie world, there's only two people. That is Captain America. Well, three people if you count the Vision
and
Thor. But you can't.
Right.
Nobody else can lift it unless they. Nobody else can lift Moonir, but they can lift Stormbreaker if they had the appropriate strength. Like Thanos probably can lift it. The Hulk probably can lift it. Maybe
but no,
Captain
but
Marvel.
they had the scenes though with Mjolnir as well. Like the scene where Hulk was tugging at it, that was an Easter egg because he does that in the comics. The scene where Cap slightly moved it, that was to show people that you do need a certain amount of strength to lift it unless you are worthy of the hammer. That was the purpose of those scenes.
Yeah, but
they were all Easter eggs.
I've never seen the Hulk.
Hulk didn't move it.
Hulk didn't move it.
No, I didn't say he moved it. I said he was tugging at it. It's an Easter egg because that's what he does in the comics.
I'm not doubting that, but that wasn't Anzo's question.
No, I understand that, but we went into Mjolnir and how you got to. So I just covered that. It's all part of that. Stormbreaker's a little bit different, but yeah, Mjolnir, you're supposed to be worthy, or you have to have a lot of strength to be.
There it is. There's the answer. But with the movies, it was you had to be worthy. In the movies.
Yes. Well, in the movie, so far from what we've seen, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to necessarily see
That's
someone.
all we've seen. It's all we've seen.
I understand that.
Don't move the goalposts.
Like I said, Kevin Feige is a master of setting things up, so don't be surprised if you see someone lift it up.
And I'll eat crow when that happens.
Yep. Exactly. I'm just saying that it might happen because there's a precedence for it.
I agree with you, John. I wasn't a big fan of Captain Marvel either.
Damn right, because Captain Marvel's the worst film in the MCU.
I don't have nothing against Captain Marvel.
Again, it's the worst. It's the worst film in the MCU.
If Captain Marvel was saving me from space, I'd be like, "Hello there."
Okay. Yeah, she's kind of a bitch.
Iron Man 3 is the worst one.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like,
I still would rather watch that than Captain Marvel.
Because it's got Tony. At least I got Tony Stark. He's likable and fun to watch.
Yeah, at least I was really entertained by that. With Captain Marvel, I just wasn't.
I don't like any of the characters. I don't like. And they fuck up Nick Fury, and I hate it.
But I will.
That's not the only thing they messed up. They messed up
and the Skrulls. And the Skrulls.
Messed up 10 other things.
But I will say, if you gave me the choice to either kill myself, watch Captain Marvel, or Iron Man 3, I'm killing myself.
What?
I'm watching. No, I'm watching Iron Man 3.
No, I ain't watching either of those.
Look, man, I'll go to your funeral and I'll play Iron Man 3 while I put you in the ground. I'll miss you. I'll miss you.
That sounds like a Rob Storm statement there, bro.
I'll miss you. I'll miss you. I'll miss you,
sir. Mike Hughes said the Fast and Furious franchise has done some of the best with diversity without showing it off and making it to the prominent points of the series.
Thank you. That's all you need to do. Like
Hobbs Shaw's the greatest film ever made. It had Black Superman.
I mean, these like I said, some of these humans, like you got people blaming people like Elizabeth Banks with Charlie's Angels. She said right out the gate, this movie failed because men don't like to see strong women. And I was like, bitch, females didn't even show up to your movie. That's why it flopped. They didn't like it either.
The first two Charlie's Angels movies, and Lucy Liu was bad.
Yes, one of my favorite shows is fucking Blind Spot. That has a female lead. I love Buffy, Xena, Ripley, Sarah Connor, like the whole thing. I'm like, what are you talking about? They're just making stuff up.
Okay.
Silly.
Also to say, when you think of the first season of Stargirl, is what Supergirl should have been.
Sure. I don't know. They fucked that up so hard. I don't even know what that show should have been.
Also to say, Green Lantern was pretty bad. Parallax looked like a crap cloud.
Yeah, with
Yeah, they did the
gigantic
same.
ass
They did the same thing with Galactus. They
Yes.
just don't learn, do they? Just
Nope.
fools, man. Just fools.
I want Silver Surfer back.
Ghostfire said, I take ibuprofen before listening. Yeah, I do too.
You're gonna have to take it after you watch season 2 of Batwoman as well. Watch me be the only one that watches all the episodes. By the way, watch it.
You are a hard charger.
I'm watching reaction videos.
And
That's
D. Scott, the last one, said I would watch all MCU movies.
I agree.
would too.
Of course, I own every one of them too, including Captain Marvel. So there you go.
And I'll make fun of it. I will never buy it, but I will figure out a way to watch it.
There are
on Blu-ray.
that I can never watch again.
I got standards, man. I got standards. Actually, I'll probably never watch Captain Marvel again because it's a prequel, so I don't give a fuck. Black Panther, as much as I don't like it, still let in, so I'm good.
I feel like every time I say that, like I end up watching it anyway, whether it be on my own or I'm watching it with friends. So
Well, you seem like a sadist, and that's fine. You like to punish
Ragnarok. Won't watch that again.
Love Thor.
Yeah, Ragnarok falls off on me, but it is.
I may
fun.
watch the first half of it because I like the hella stuff. But then once they get on the planet, I'll turn it off.
Yeah.
I love Thor.
Drive said I haven't watched all Thor films.
I like the first. I like the first Thor.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Yeah, the first Thor movie is very underrated to me.
I'm a huge fan of the first one. I just thought it was
true.
style.
Thank you, Max Shoes, because some of these people think we ain't getting off this show. But I am fool enough to go ahead and just cut this shit, slam off if we don't wrap it up.
Let's go. I gotta eat, fools. I gotta sleep.
Stargirl action secrets are the big budget movie action, so much better than the CW.
Yes, because the budget is higher, and they have Jeff Johns specifically running that particular show.
I need to yell at their cinematographer though, please.
Well, the last thing I'm gonna say,
that shit a little better. It's a little too dark lately.
On that subject is that I think if Zack Snyder is a success, he should be the Kevin Feige of that place, and Jeff Johns should be his.
Get out of here! I don't want Zack Snyder doing anything.
I disagree. If it's a hit, he's gonna be able to write his ticket in the DC.
If Zack Snyder is there and you can get Jeff Johns and maybe one other person to help him sort of oversee the direction and the writing.
At least the writing, yes.
I think that because here's what I would say to Warner Brothers. I'd say, look, have Zack be there for the visuals and have him if he doesn't like something too much, have him kind of sort of course correct it, but have Jeff Johns and some really good writers there to help the flow come together, because Zack is not good at everything, but that's okay though. When you recognize that you are lacking in some area, you get people to fill that void. And once that happens and you come together, if they can come together in the right way, they will crush the shit out of Marvel. I am fucking waiting for that shit. I'm like, there's no reason for DC not to stomp all over Marvel like how they did in the comic books. They should be doing that.
I'd agree. Their animated shit is just always on point.
Oh, absolutely.
MCU just can't get there.
Yep.
So
we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. It was an awesome episode. We've been on here for 3 hours, almost 30 minutes. So I just want to say to the guys, thank you. Conversation was fantastic. I want to thank you to the chat. This is, I think, one of the most highest views we've had since we've been on here. Right at it was 16. And looking at my phone, we got 15 likes. So I'm very pleased with that. No dislikes. Thank you all very much. Please share this content. We're on here every Sunday afternoon from 5 to 8, 3 hours. We'll give you 3 hours of content, conversation, laughs, a little heated debate, but it's nothing that's never serious. So before we go, tell everybody where they can find you at. I'm going to start off with John. Go ahead and tell the people where they can find you at, good sir.
You can find me apparently on YouTube. I'm starting to try and put out videos. I just did one for Destroy All Humans. Hopefully I'm going to have a couple more parts thrown out there. You can always see me at Operation Babel. It's a podcast I do hopefully weekly for the most part with at Mike Shrews. You might have seen him in the chat. Just keep coming here. Good conversation with these guys. And if we do a really good job, hopefully in season 3, I'll be replaced by a Asian black redhead. So
an Asian black transgender. There you go.
There we go. Nailed it.
All right, Terrence. Tell the people they can find you at, sir.
Oh, before I get into that, I wanted to say that I don't do heated debates. Like, to me, they're just conversation. Now, whatever humans feel, that's up to them. But yeah, humans. My name is Terrence. So my name is Terrence. You can find me here on Comic Chat. Today like the Equilibrium show, and then on Mondays, and then you can find me on the Tremaine Terrence channel. Now, I want you to understand that while I appreciate any positive things that come out of listening to me, subscribing and liking stuff, I still don't give a fuck because I feel like the important thing that a person should do is have fun. The rest of that, I ain't caring about. Why is John like jacking off and shit? What the fuck is going on? But yeah, like
Because while you were saying that, I was like, doesn't give a fuck.
oh yeah, because I'm just being honest. Like I know like YouTubers, they have their different reasons for being on the platform. A lot of it is the same reasons. And for me, I feel that it's important to not only speak your mind, but to also explain it in an articulate fashion to where even if the human disagrees, they understand where you're coming from and why you said what you said. And at the end of the day, I don't need fucking humans to like me. I operate on my own. But if you choose to support me, I am very grateful for that.
Okay. All right, Alonzo.
What
Where
up,
can the
y'all?
people find you at, sir?
Bigger Ford Entertainment, Equilibrium, Chaotic Conversation, Chaotic List, Rule of Three, Storm's Life, Square One. All those things you can find me. Just check out my channel, and Danny's channel, and you'll find episodes that I'm on. So, and unlike Terrence, we do give a fuck.
Yes.
I'm not here to change your mind. I'm here to give you a perspective. That's all.
Oh, absolutely not. That would be illogical to think that you can change the mind of a human. I never operate from that standpoint.
And I am Danny. This is my channel, Comic Chat, here on YouTube. I'm going to echo everything that Anzo said. We're on a lot of shows. We hope that you can watch one of the shows, but if you can't, you can only watch one or two. Make sure it's Equilibrium. Make sure it's Square One. Those are what we're trying to push really hard. You can catch me and Anzo later on tonight on our friend's channel, Storms Live. It's a different kind of channel. It's different. But thank you all. I really appreciate it. My hours now
Got some
are at
chocolate chip cookies.
What the fuck?
the hell.
What?
this
You
shit-
fucking around with Willy Wonka?
hell.
What you doing, man?
Hell yeah.
my
Hold up. Let me get this. We about to snap this shit up. Hold up.
Fucking Betty Crocker just came after Terrence. Everybody run.
But until next time, people, catch us here at the same time next Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another exciting episode of
It's still
Equilibrium.
fucking hot too, yo.
Fucking dude.